Welcome to the eMpTy podcast. Myself, Mr. Wileycat DJ, aka the voice of reason. And across in that corner, I'm changing up this week, we have
Buddy in the building, aka the truth.
And to my left-hand side, we have...
Why do you not let him do that?
It's not even good.
I could just start talking.
Keep off. I ask you a question, I just lock you off. Next person.
To the left of me, we have...
Sirelli, ever so slightly broken.
Always broken.
And on the other corner of that sofa, we have...
Citrus. Yaga yo.
And next to me...
How you don't know it was going to happen?
I knew it was going to happen. I was just hoping it weren't going to happen. But, you know, we live in hope. And next to me, we have...
Rain_Nelson_445.
And last but not least, we have...
Man like Tongo, you don't know. Merry New Year, because it's the first time I'm here for the year.
Indeed. Merry New Year. But welcome to the eMpTy podcast. We've got a lot to get through this week.
2027.
So I'm going to jump straight onto Rain for
Happy
Rain's roundup.
All right.
Happy Independence Day.
I'm going to start. I'm going to go for the juggler straight away. AFCON.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes.
I'm going to go straight there.
Nigeria didn't win.
Just...
Yes.
What? Nigeria didn't win?
No,
Nigeria
you know when
didn't
they came out? They came out when you said they was going to come out.
What was that?
What, is that before or after they got paid their bonus?
Oh, boy.
Congratulations to Senegal. But we're gonna dissect that because there's a whole lot to dissect.
Right, so
Rain.
I've got questions, so please do not jump ahead of the questions in regards to this.
Yes,
so
okay.
firstly, the reason why I bring up the Africa Cup of Nations is because it was held in Morocco. Now, for me, up until a certain point, it was a good tournament in regards to the organisation. So much so that Morocco is set, potentially, to host the World Cup in 2029.
No, 2030, they are.
Is
They
it?
are.
They already are. They
Cool.
already are.
So,
3 nations are.
in regards to the final now, was it a good game firstly?
Right. It was
Drama.
a great game. But the problem, you see, when you're saying it was a great tournament up to then, and we're going to get into that, there's a lot of controversy through the whole tournament. But we're going to get to that. But the final itself, very good final.
Did everybody watch it?
I didn't get
Yeah.
I watched it.
I actually didn't get to watch
I watched
all of it,
tournament.
but I
Tournament.
watched a lot of the end.
What's the tournament?
Right. Okay. So basically, it was a good game up until like the last quarter of the first half. Senegal had a goal disallowed. So for the football mandem, should that goal have been disallowed?
No.
No.
Absolutely not.
Why?
So, do you want to jump on it, Citrus?
No.
Okay. Corner comes in. The defender is already pushing the attacker. The attacker gets the better of him, heads it onto the bar. By the time it's hit the bar, the referee has blown the whistle. So what that then now means, when it came off the bar and the Senegal player, I think it was Ismail Assar, headed it or knocked it into the goal, it can't go to VAR because he's blown the whistle before the ball has gone into the net. If he'd waited for that to play to finish and blown the whistle after the ball went in, they'd had to go to VAR, and then likely, in all fairness, that should have been given as a goal.
As a goal.
So in essence, just to counter your argument, it was correctly chalked off.
So it was correctly.
It was correctly chalked off.
It was correctly chalked off in the fact that the whistle was blown before
So yeah,
the goal went in, but
Then it's
the
correct.
foul was not a
it
foul.
might not have been a foul.
It was
but
not a
he
foul
blew
at
the
all.
whistle before the ball got in the net.
Okay.
So in essence,
Yeah,
it was
we'll
correctly
agree that
chalked
okay,
off.
fine. So then the next major incident in that was
30 seconds later.
the penalty, the other end. Was it a penalty?
Debatable.
It was.
It's debatable. I would say I've seen them given, I've seen them not given. So if it went to VAR, it might well have been given.
I mean,
Might well have
again,
been given.
to not sit on the fence, it was a penalty. If there's contact and it is in the box, it's a penalty. It would have been given a free kick outside of the box. More than likely, if that's the case, it's a penalty. Next.
So okay,
Right.
Was it a soft penalty or was it a
Soft penalty, yes.
right?
Yeah,
Now,
soft penalty.
is that third question? Is that enough to garner the response from Senegal?
No.
And this is why I said you have to look at the whole process of what had happened prior to that.
Right. So go on then.
Right. So you go
Training-
through from
training
the
camp.
When sorry?
From the training
I
camp.
think he's going to
No,
mention
not
all
even
that.
that. It's going from the not even that. It's going from the It's actually before the quarterfinals. There was a dodgy decision. I think there was a penalty either given or not given against Morocco against I forget the team. I don't want to say what team it was. I forget the team. Then they played Cameroon in the quarterfinals. In the quarterfinals, Brian and Burma was not brought down. He was brought down in the area. Blatant penalty, no whistle, no VAR. That was in the quarterfinals. In the semi-finals against Nigeria, there was a decision given where Calvin Bassey was given a yellow card, even though he was fouled by the Algerian. If it was Diaz had fouled him, again he got the yellow card. Then the issue of the towels, which everyone saw in the final, was happening in the semi-final.
I'm
So
sure
much so.
Raidman was coming to that.
No, it's we're going to get to
It
that.
was a
So much
question.
so that the Nigerian goalkeeper, after the final, said the Moroccan fans should cry their eyes into the tears of towels because they stole so many in the semi-final and the final.
While giving them the middle fingers while he
Yes,
was running
So in amongst what you've said, you still haven't answered this question.
Should Senegal have walked off in protest?
Yes.
And I think it wasn't, I don't think they had all of that in mind when they walked off. I think it was because of the decision to award the penalty to Morocco. So in that question, that's the question we want to answer.
So to counter that again, before the final, the manager for Senegal, I forget his name, the manager for Senegal, he'd already said there was a number of dodgy things happening prior to them getting to the final location. He's been watching all the decisions that have been going through at the tournament in terms of Morocco, and he will not tolerate, he said something along the lines of he will not tolerate any sort of shenanigans in the final. So in their eyes, this was a crescendo of a setup to ensure Morocco would win.
But he's still not answering the question.
I just answered it. I said yes.
There was right to walk off.
I believe it was right to walk off, yes.
Citrus.
No. Because there are other ways of protesting.
Like,
I've always said, if all the players just walked into the centre circle and sat down in a circle.
Isn't that the same thing though?
No.
It's refusing to play.
There's a penalty to be taken.
I would have gone
That
and
means
sat,
your keeper is sat in the centre circle.
I would have gone and sat in the centre circle.
But it's the same thing, it's refusing to play.
No,
there's a distinct difference of walking off the pitch or being on the pitch and having a visual protest, which in my opinion would score much higher than come on lads, let's get off, because that's almost, even though it's probably the same thing, it's almost having a tantrum.
Okay, cool.
Coming off, I do believe they were wrong for protesting, but I wouldn't have said find an alternative protest. Football's a game. There's mistakes that are made by it's human error. The amount of games that we've watched and seen in the history of football before VAR and now even during VAR, we see accidents happen, we see mistakes happen. You do not walk off the pitch and say, "Oh, well, we're not playing anymore." Do you know what I mean? I'm not playing. You lot aren't listening to me right now. I'm gonna walk out.
Sounds like a body move still.
But based on the history that Wiley's talking about, as in like all of the potential corruption, that's the only way that they can voice their opinion. You wouldn't go down that route.
Let me add to that as well. Everything we're seeing, remember, everything we're seeing that was happening in the final, they were aware of on the pitch. So we were only aware of the towel situation, of the situations happening, of all that interference. We was only aware of that after the final. In the final, the players were all aware of that on the pitch.
No, I'm not saying, I mean, justice was preserved afterwards, obviously, going in God we trust. And even Mane coming out and saying, look, you know what, we finished this as men. Come on the pitch and speak in the way that Mane spoke. I praise him so highly. Come as men, we finished this as men.
Did Mane get a whisper in his ear to say that we're going to throw the game?
No.
So you don't think that Brahim missed the penalty on purpose?
No. Brahim Diaz was trying to be, you know what it is? There's a level of arrogance with certain people. And I believe playing for Real Madrid, being the penalty taker, last minute of the game, you know what? I'm going to do a Penenka. And I'm going to finish on such a high that I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to be that. I think it was Czechoslovakia was the guy who started it in 76 or so in the Euros. And he finished the game with that little chip. And if you do that, everyone remembers you because you've done that little Penenka penalty.
It's arrogance. It's
arrogance. I'm not hearing nothing about he threw the game. No way. It's arrogance.
I don't think he did throw the game. I mean, if he's thinking smart, Mendy saved the penalty of Panenka before.
That's what I'm saying.
And it's really stupid to have tried it on him. However, he tried it. I don't think he threw the game. I don't think it was whispered in his ear. I think Mane had the right idea to say, look, we come and we finish this as men. If we lose and we've lost on the basis of them cheating us, let the world have the uproar and say that they've run it wrongly, rather than us say we walked off the pitch and said we're not finishing the game. And I thought that, as a man, you've done really well. And he led his team brilliantly.
2 more points on this. The towel incident.
Oh.
What's the situation? What's your thought?
It's just diabolical. Let's
it's
not even
ridiculous.
talk about it.
No, you
It's
don't have to.
diabolical.
No, you know where you have to. Everyone's talking about the ball boys and what they were doing. There were Moroccan players doing it. What's his name again? Hakimi was one of the players.
He gave the towel.
towel.
That was under protest from the fans. The fans said, take the towel and give it to me. And he did.
I don't know about that.
Well, no, yeah, because I looked at it. I looked at that and I
Where
saw...
he picks it and he just throws it, yeah?
No, he asked.
He looked unsure at first. And I was thinking,
Pressure.
was it that someone said to him, that's mine, throw it back over it? Or was it...
No.
It's a general thing. And let me act like I don't know what I'm doing and then fling
it. Was pressure. It was a lot of pressure. You've got the whole country, and the way that the whole country sitting there, do this, do it. And he's sitting there, the teammates were doing it, the officials were doing it, the ball boys were doing it. And it's like, do you know what? If someone said, all right, here, take it, just so I'm out of it. Me personally, I probably would have put it down. But he just thought, you know what, look, there you go, take it. And he went with the crowd. He followed. He was a sheep.
As far as I'm concerned, there's no excuse. I'm not having any excuse of they were following. Remember, like I said, this was happening. Remember, like I said, this was happening in the semi-final and in the quarter-final. Yeah. It's only because it's in the final that we saw what was going on. If we only got to find out this was all taking place in the semi-finals as well. We
saw that.
Yeah, there's videos of it as well.
Yeah, we saw that.
But it wasn't mainstream because it wasn't as volatile a situation as what the final was. The final highlighted it to the whole world. But this is from what I'm seeing. I saw a video where they was talking about a South African team. I think Mamelodi Sundowns had gone to play a Moroccan team. This was happening from 2019. This isn't new behavior. What? Not new behavior.
Did everyone know that Netflix are apparently going to do a documentary on AFCON?
No.
With that in mind, there's a conspiracy theory that people were paid to do certain things. So when they do it and they use their footage, they've actually got the raw footage of everything that's going on. It will be one of the most watched things on Netflix. Final comments on that.
I disagree. I think that this year's AFCON, as a tournament, the tournament was amazing. The tournament had probably some of the best football I've seen in that tournament for years. And credit to Senegal for winning. I think that they were one of the best teams in there. But credit to them, there was a lot of great teams there.
The best team.
There was a lot of really good teams in the tournament. Yeah, of course. I will always fly my Nigerian flag.
Best team. Don't worry about it.
We were the third best team. Yeah, that's right. I'll always fly the flag. But the point that I'm making is that as a tournament, this tournament itself, so many teams stood out just for the football they played. And for me, that's what I'm always after that for the AFCON. The AFCON gets such a lot of bad stick. So for me, I don't think that they did this for the Netflix team. I don't believe so.
Any other comments before I move on?
No.
I have one.
Go on.
When you profile something such as AFCON or a football match that you are now presenting to the world stage, you have to remember and understand that you are being observed from the entire world. Right. I can almost guarantee if they weren't already awarded the World Cup in
2030, I believe it is.
2030.
It was 2029, but okay.
After how AFCON unfolded, I don't think they'd get it. Very true.
Right. Okay. Yeah, true.
I don't think they'd get it.
Moving on. Single women are using glitter to expose cheating men. So there's a woman on TikTok. So what she's done, she is basically part of her, get ready with me. You know, there's that kind of hashtag that's going on. She sprays a lot. She uses a fragrance, or maybe it's a cream that's got glitter on. The whole purpose of it is that if you interact with her, or try to get close to her, or whatever it may be, or hug, blah 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 blah, your partner sees the glitter, and she knows the trend and thinks, oh, have you been interacting with someone too close? What's your thoughts on that?
Arms house.
Different.
Arms house, why?
It's a setup.
How much people could just glitter is in, think about it in any shop, you know?
You know, I'm gonna buy it and then I'm gonna wipe it on one of you, man.
Just sprinkle up the place.
I see
you
what
get
I've got.
So
Watch
it's
the drama.
It's not glitter as in just like, you know, you glitter that you use at parties and whatnot. It's in creams and whatnot, so you can see it. But it's a particular kind of it's
Shimmer.
not. Yes.
But
It's
Ray,
very
it's
much
still
entrapment
something.
though, innit?
It's still something you could go into the shop and buy, right?
Yeah, it is. But the point is that there is a big fad. If you type, there's a person's name, but I didn't want to promote her in regards to it. But there is a big hashtag and movement about this. Women actually going into establishments, sitting at a bar, whatever it may be, and then doing things which leaves glitter on a man's clothes or on his skin or whatever it may be. In the advent, they're hoping that he's got a partner. The partner's seen that this trend is going on, and it mashes up their thing.
So set up then.
Entrapment.
Yeah, no, it puts more men on the market for them, innit?
What do you
I mean,
Because you have to remember, they might be doing it, to get you into trouble and whatnot, but some of them might genuinely like somebody and, well, you know what, your thing is good. If I get a chance and I got a way to come into
I
it.
can't lie. One time I was walking on the train, right? I was like, what you doing, mate? I just walked off. All right, I got so when I got home now, bare questions. I'm like, what? You know,
I was in a circle line. But yeah, all right, cool, gonna move on. So we've come to this very late. So the Royal London Hospital has a sickle cell day unit, which provides a lot of support to people on a day basis, and sometimes you can go back and whatnot. Lots of experts that work in there. Apparently, at the end of July, this place is set to close.
Yeah.
Now, I haven't really got a question. I just thought it was important to mention. I don't know if anyone here has got anyone that suffered or suffering from sickle cell.
A friend of mine used to go into that same day stay unit.
Really, really. So there is a petition out there. And I think we're going to chop this up and put it onto TikTok or wherever. But it's simply say yo. And then the petition is also at ACLT charity. Like, if it's affected you, even if it hasn't, just go on there and sign that petition, because sickle cell, they worded it very carefully. It affects a minority of people, they said. So they're not.
The wording.
Yeah, exactly. The wording's perfect. But if you know, you know. I think it's one of those things that if that day unit goes, there will be over 15,000 people in the UK currently suffer from that. Now, who knows what it is worldwide, but that's a little day thing that opens regularly that can help people. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I think it's important that we kind of get behind that if we can.
100%.
So, Rain, are they closing it just because of funding?
The detail, I believe it is funding. But it's in the Royal London. Like, you know what I mean? It's in the Royal London Hospital. It's anyway, so yeah.
They need to find someone to sponsor it and name it after that person, I think.
Well, that's a good idea. But then there is us making a donation or signing that petition to help that, you know what I mean? Yeah.
We're
So
going to do both of those.
Brooklyn Beckham, has anyone followed that story?
Yeah.
So he's fallen out with his parents. Not for the first time.
No.
But he blocked them on social media, don't want to chat to them. And this is kind of like because one of the reasons is that they didn't want to accept his
wife.
Didn't want to accept his wife, or they're moving Molly around the wife. And
I heard it for a minute.
the Beckhams, mainly Victoria, wants to take centre stage. So when they did their first dance, she apparently danced a bit provocatively or something.
Around her, and he didn't know. He felt so embarrassed.
Yeah, apparently she was grinding or whatever on him, which is a bit wild. But the question is, are the Beckhams, as in David and Victoria, acting the way they are because they are trying to protect their child, or have the Beckham's name, the brand, live on?
I think it's a combination of things, because from comments and statements that have been put out there, there's more than one thing. So, for example, Victoria didn't want to make the wedding dress for...
She did want to.
She was going to, and then on the last minute.
She pulled out. So that's a big thing, you know. Anybody who's getting married, you tell your missus, you know, you're going to have this dress from this person, and then 2 weeks, a week before, you know, that's just carnage. There's also the issue that I think somebody went to make a speech after they got married, and he must have said something like, oh yeah, I'm dedicating this to the most beautiful woman in the room and whatnot. And he wasn't talking about the bride, he was actually talking about Victoria. So there's a lot of things that have supposedly come...
Who said that, David?
No, it wasn't David Beckham. It was someone else that was making a speech.
Oh, Ross.
And all these kind of things have caused bones of contention between the family and whatnot. But in all honesty, I know it sounds bad, I think it's a good thing.
What?
Let him go and start his own identity, his own family, and start his own
there's
thing.
one thing of doing that, bro, and there's another thing of saying I'm cutting off my family because he just cut. They're saying basically he don't want nothing to do with his mum and his dad.
There's life after
And
that, you know, bro.
the other two brothers, he blocked them.
Yeah, block
Don't
them
want
as
to
well.
chat to them.
There's life after that, bro.
There's life after that, but then it's like having any family dispute. You want to cut off. You've got a family dispute going on. You don't now cut off your whole family and say, "Oh, well, you over there, me over here."
It depends if they're part of it.
There's
If
growing
you've got
up
your missus and you're living your happy life, and the inputs of that part of your family is disrupting your happy home, you've got to make a choice.
I understand he's made the choice, but to say it's a good thing, and you know what I mean, I don't think it's a good thing. I just feel to myself, his parents
Ask him if it's a good thing.
his parents should have realized to himself. Look, at the end of the day, he's a grown up. He's got married. He's trying to start his own family and do his own thing. He's their oldest child, so it's like, well, you should let him now try and be his own man and support him while he's doing it. Not be against him and not be against, oh, he's chosen a woman that I don't like. It's none of your business. You don't lie down with her. He does.
In regards to the speech, the speech was done by the singer Mark Anthony,
Thank you.
who called Victoria the most beautiful woman in the room.
On your wedding day.
On the wedding day.
The bride day. That's
During
arms
his
out.
speech performance, and shifted focus onto her during what was supposed to be Brooklyn and Nicola's first dance.
What? So ain't my man supposed to get thumped up?
So this is what I'm saying, it's a good thing. Just break your ways.
So this is why I
That's
saw.
a setup thing, though.
I was scrolling and I saw it said Brooklyn Beckham diss track, but I didn't know what the hell it was about. I didn't listen to it. Or,
That may
I don't know if that's actually true, or if it's AI, or I was thinking, raw. But now this is making sense.
Here's the thing, I mean, the Beckhams are estimated to be worth £500 million.
Wow.
So with that sort of money and that sort of thing behind you, would you not want to protect your legacy and your heritage if you thought that your child was marrying somebody he shouldn't? I'm just asking the question.
Yeah, but you have to remember, the bride, her family,
Right, okay.
don't be.
I don't know.
Yeah.
They're richer than them, or as rich as them. So
who's
money.
family?
I can't remember what their
Something
legacy
Cruz, I
is.
think.
Yeah, but they're not broke.
Yeah, you know, I just think it's wild. I just think that the stuff it just sounds like, and maybe it's the media painting the Beckhams to be the ogres. I'm not sure, but it just sounds a bit wild. But I'm with you. Like, it's your family and it's your mum and your dad, which is wild. Quickly,
Her dad is worth 1.6 billion.
okay, say no more.
Touch him out, didn't it?
Exactly.
I chose right?
Exactly. On that note,
I'm gonna go to that side of the family.
Don't apologize.
Talk about my freaking wife.
Yeah, exactly.
Keep my wife's name out your mother mouth.
I've got to move on. So a recent study done recently in January shows that women are exhausted from explaining basic emotional needs like empathy with their partners, inverted commas, men. The study claims that in relationships, women do double the work managing their, look at his face, managing their own emotions and helping the man with their emotions.
Your phone's been hacked, blood.
Is this study talking about you, man?
Yeah, your phone's been hacked, bro. Seriously, let's just move on.
Oh, no comments.
You know what it is? Women are a lot more emotionally, what's the word I would use?
You're on your own head, bro.
No, I don't say it. No, they're a lot more emotionally intelligent in terms of how they will, in terms of how they would recognize certain things. I say that in the sense of, if I'm acting a certain way or I'm being a certain way, I'm not gonna. I'm very much a surface person. I don't need to know anything further than anything what it is. But women will dig deep into it. Before you know it, you're on what's that program that they used to always be crying, like Maury or something.
Maury.
So you're telling your whole life story. We're not wired that way. I think, and we've said it before.
We think logically. I think we've
think
stated
practically.
that before.
We are practical thinkers and practical doers.
Isn't that just we're just not as nosy?
Oh wow!
I mean,
No, the reason why I say that,
using that as a word though, why would you think that is?
because as you just said a while ago, I'll talk to buddy. What's happening? How are you doing? Yeah, I'm good. End of. We kind of move on. You go home. You tell the missus, I saw buddy. You know. Yeah, how is he? What's he doing? What was he wearing? I don't know. Where was he going? I don't know. I'm just saying to somebody and he said hi.
Yep.
And she's asking me a barrage of questions that maybe I should know, but I don't care for. I saw you. You said hi.
I disagree with that. I think sometimes, and just to help out, because we haven't got a contrast of women that also on a thing. I think men,
they will in the comments. They
no,
will.
but men are probably sometimes more inquisitive and nosy, as you put it, than women. So in some senses, a lot of us, I can sit there and say that we ask a lot of questions about certain things. We'll sit there and we'll gossip about certain things. I can sit there and say, your comment, I'm not with.
I'm not on the us thing when you said most of us. I'm not on that.
No, when I say most, I'm talking about men.
I'm definitely not on the gossip thing.
Nah,
I'm the gossip thing.
no,
now.
people will say that, but you will have conversations. There are certain things that we will discuss, and we think to ourselves, "Oh, we're not on the gossip thing," but we do it in a different way.
We're on
Yes.
a podcast right now talking about issues. The last issue that he spoke about with the Beckhams, and I didn't mention anything because I couldn't give one shit about it. It doesn't bother my life. I don't care. Do you know what I mean? That's not something I'm going to find out. Even if I knew it was something we're going to talk about, I still wouldn't have researched it because I don't care. But saying we're going to gossip and dude, like you phoned me up, did you see what Beckham did because of that?
But that might not be your interest, though.
I couldn't.
One thing I'd say,
but even with that, if this doesn't change my today or affect my tomorrow, it's gone over my head. There's 101 other things I could think about. You know, I got to go see some chicken. Do you know what I mean? That's where my brain. As soon as you start chatting, I'm like, right, let me go see some of the chicken. Do you know, have I got garlic powder and onion powder? Do you know what I mean? My brain's already going somewhere else because I ain't got time for it. So when you like we gossip, you must be gossiping with Tongo because these two said no.
I'm not gossiping.
These three said no, and it's not me.
But I'm saying to you, as people, men in general, men in general. I mean, I'm not going to sit on the fence. You might love to sit on this fence thing and try to.
But you're gossiping with
I'm going to put up this facade. I'm just sit there and say how it is. You're going to like say, man, don't talk.
What's the last gossip?
One second. What was MT based off of?
Hold on, first of all,
What is MT based off
A
of?
safe space.
for men to be talking.
Well,
But there we go.
No, it wasn't.
Hold on. Tongo.
He wasn't there from the beginning. He wasn't there from the beginning.
Tongo.
first of all, no one said that men don't talk. So coming up with this, men like to gossip or men like to chat, whatever, and as much as women, we don't chat the same as women. It's not the same.
20 seconds each.
And on top of that, women will talk and find something that don't even relate to what you're talking about and bring it in from nowhere. They bring all these ideas in from nowhere and just keep it going. And they use it to then...
Some women.
This sounds personal, you know.
I'm pushing the mic away.
This woman, you know,
it's not personal. It's not personal. They like...
Look in the camera when you're saying it so she knows what you're talking about.
There's
Some of them.
There's quite a few memes or whatever where it's that the idea behind it is that if a man's at home sitting down doing nothing, they'll either find something to ask him or for something for him to do because they can't take him sitting down doing nothing.
Okay. I've seen the memes. I know what you're talking about.
Any other comments? So I'm going to move on.
Yeah, move on before let's get deeper.
Because the gossip, you know what it is? The gossip got brought in by Buddy. What was the actual statement? Because we've sort of lost that part
Well,
of
it didn't
it.
say about gossip. It was saying about managing
Emotions.
They work harder in the relationship. They do double the work in the relationship, managing their own emotions and then helping the man with his emotions.
They definitely don't manage their own emotions. That's lies.
Right, you got enough angry. I'm
Not angry, it's true.
Sorry, Tongo.
I said it.
Okay. So for me, I would say that men do manage their emotions, but they manage their emotions differently to women. And we're not likely to talk about our emotions. And we've had podcasts about that before. So where a woman is more likely to expect, because they may talk with their compadres and talk about things openly, we're not open like that. A lot of men don't tend to be open. A lot of black men, let me just say that, do not tend to be open. So that managing emotions, I think it's a bit skewed.
The study says
there is
final.
A couple. Sorry, all right. There's a couple of points I want to make. Me, if the emotion can be buried, I'd bury it because
Really?
yeah,
100%.
yeah.
If emotion could be buried.
If the emotion can be buried,
in the relationship. Oh, right, fine. Okay.
no. I'm just saying,
In
like,
general.
if something
general,
comes up
right.
and then I have an emotive reaction, and that emotion can be buried, I would bury it.
Sorry, just to clarify
Okay, go on.
that, are you talking about a negative emotion? Because a positive emotion, are you going to bury that?
No. Positive
Some
emotion I will
negative
share.
emotions.
A negative
That's what I
emotion
was
I will,
going
I will suppress. I'll,
Okay.
I'll bury
Yeah.
it. Because I know if I express or
Expose.
expose that emotion, that could be weaponized against me.
We touched on
Alternatively,
Becomes
it
contagious.
Sorry?
It becomes contagious.
Yeah, alternatively, it becomes a bigger issue than it is. Like right now, I might be feeling sad because, you know what I mean? I'm just not having a good day.
Well,
What's
Nigeria
wrong?
didn't win the AFCON.
And you're like, yeah, Nigeria got banged in the...
Raw.
So, what's wrong? I'm okay. But what's wrong? I'm okay. What's wrong? Nigeria lost. But what's really wrong? Now, I'm trying to think of something
To make wrong.
make
shit. Okay, I
it
get
wrong.
Okay.
so she's satisfied that there's something wrong.
Is it because you didn't become a footballer, and if you did, you could have helped them win the
You could have been there, and now you're
So
not
now
there
that you're not there, you feel guilty.
because you're less of a man than they are. Okay, I'm less of a man. Now there's something wrong. I knew there was something wrong. There weren't something wrong before you started your shit. Do you get what I mean? All of a sudden now, that's the buried emotions now resurfacing. But I mean, essentially, I do understand the statement. I definitely get it. However, very controversial. In other societies, and I want to open the conversation back up. You can shut me down if you want. But
It's just time.
Other societies and cultures, a man explaining his emotions to his wife or partner isn't a thing.
Weakness.
So because you show weakness.
Weak.
So I'm not going to do that. No disrespect. I can't imagine Wiley's grandfather talking to Wiley's grandmother saying, I'm sad today because I look fat. Do you get what I mean?
The boss
I'm not
spoke
saying
to me.
you
No,
said that, Wiley.
I'm
But
laughing
I'm
because
just
because we're gonna when we get into the meat of the topic,
I was about to say,
we're gonna
that's-
get into that.
That's more of a generational thing.
no. Culturally.
Yeah,
Because I know
culturally.
Wiley's probably got a cousin
Culturally.
now, half your age, that still won't say it. So I'm turning around and saying,
Exhibit A.
Wiley don't say it. So, do you know what I mean?
Ever.
Wiley stopped his
At
toe
all.
at the lift. He still ain't crying.
Somebody tried to rob the whole business. He comes home like nothing.
So the
5 seconds.
point I'm trying to make is I think it's a bigger topic than just
Wait.
a roundup.
One thing, I agree with him, sorry.
So I think it's a bigger topic than just a roundup. However, I definitely think from my experience with women that they like the idea of exploring emotions to be able to try and work out how you tick or why we act a certain way. And they feel like following through this, I should say some of them, because I don't want to tongo myself. So some of them think that if they find out the real issue, they can help get to a solution. And for me, just leave me alone
You don't want help.
for 20 minutes.
I do. Yeah.
And you know what? Whatever's going on in my world will suppress, because all I needed to do was actually just take a poo. But I didn't realize that was the issue I was going through at that moment in time.
I will come and address that
Ross,
in the
Okay.
in
Make
the
a note.
Wiley part.
Has anyone seen Sinners?
Yes.
Yes.
It has. Of course not.
No,
we're
no
not talking
surprise.
to you, Black.
No surprise. No surprise. No
Well,
surprise.
This is hot off the press, literally today. So it's been nominated for 16 Oscars.
Wow.
16,
Well done.
which is record breaking. The closest film, I believe,
Titanic?
was Titanic, and it had 14, and it had
Jurassic.
three other films were in the running. This is 16 by a mile. 16 by a mile. Now, what do you think? What do you think the discussion is? Actually, I'm going to tell you. The discussion is from some people is they've been nominated, but they're not going to win Sweet FA. The thing is that you've got Michael B. Jordan. I believe he's up for Best Actor, and then you've got
for 2 roles.
That's
well, no,
probably,
it's not because of the 2 roles.
Yeah.
It's because of
it's how he done it. But that's,
Yeah.
you have. It's
and then
part
the
to do
slight
two roles.
differences in the 2 twins and all that kind of stuff, because they are differences. And then Wumi Masaku, I can't remember what I think she was, I can't remember who she was in there, but she has been nominated for Best Supporting. So I think she's British Nigerian. Not that Wiley knew because he didn't watch the film. But
Yeah, no.
so what's your like other films? So what was it? Wicked again or something like that? Wicked and Bad. The one with the green face.
What, with the green face?
Yeah.
Oh,
Wicked, wicked.
That's a
No.
Wicked.
No. There's Wicked and there's another one.
Another Wicked.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So
the
it's
new
either
one.
Wicked again or
Oh, Wicked or something like that.
Wicked.
Wicked up.
Wicked. Oh.
That didn't get nominated for nothing.
Didn't it?
Nothing at all.
I've seen it. I'm not surprised.
What, the second one?
Mhm.
Well, I watched the first one. I just couldn't
I seen the
understand
second
it.
one,
Yeah. Okay.
I said, yeah, safe.
Wait. In regards to the backlash, they're saying it's not going to win anything. What's your thoughts on it? Because apart from Wiley, we've all seen
Go
it.
It's been nominated. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, you've been recognised in 16 different categories.
Yeah.
Kudos.
Do your thing, innit?
Do you know what I mean? Like for me right now, as soon as, and this is going to sound so horrid, but as soon as you start waiting for other people to validate your thing, and then you're going to use their validation markers to grade your standard, then we're sitting down still at the slave masters. We're at their ankle, innit? So for me, I watched it. I wasn't even sure about it. I thought it was a remix of From Dusk Till Dawn, and I really liked. Sorry,
I know, I get that.
yeah, I thought it was a remix from Dusk Till Dawn, and then I thought actually, I really like it. How they got Michael B. Jordan interacting with Michael B. Jordan.
Brilliant.
I watched the making of it to see how they've done it. It was just next level.
Was it is it a tennis ball for height and eye vision and all that?
No,
and all
body,
this
yeah, CGI, body double.
I get this. Oh, body double. Right,
Body
okay.
double, yeah. They use so many different things.
Right.
Like he had to do these, like some of the scenes you had to do them 80 different times. Cameras facing completely different angles. And there's some of the scenes where they've got a camera and then a camera and then a camera and then a camera, and he worked out. Ryan
Coogler, director,
worked out that this was the best angle because you got part of his face. And the person who was listening, you got all of their face, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
So when he was cutting the clips, you couldn't tell.
It was seamless.
That it was so seamless. There was no part where, do you know when you watch some cartoons and the person's looking here, but the animated character's here?
Yeah, it's all
and they're like, why don't you do this? Yeah, it don't make no sense. But yeah, so that was very good.
So, question: did you like the film?
I did actually like it. I thought it was all right.
Did everybody like it?
I liked it.
I liked it. I thought it was a little bit predictable. Like From Dusk Till Dawn was mad.
Never saw it coming.
This I didn't necessarily see it coming, as in what was happening. But then the like how they got to where they were getting to and what happened when they was outside the bar and all that. I kind of got that. Like even the end scene.
Didn't it feel like they were going to break out into Thriller?
Some kind of dance.
Yeah. I just wanted to hear the music.
But even the ending, and we're spoiling it now, so it's a spoiler. But even the ending when the white man did come back, and he was obviously injured, but he wasn't dead. But he decided to go and laying people down and die. Like, what was the point? I didn't get it.
So,
I didn't get it.
For people who are probably younger, who's never seen Dusk Till Dawn, and this being From Dusk Till Dawn, this being the introduction into that kind of film, they probably
would have enjoyed it.
Yeah, because we're comparing. I mean, From Dusk Till Dawn is what, 20 years?
20.
Yeah, who knows?
20 something years. I remember I bought it on video. So
yeah, so for me, a bit like Rain, it was a good film. Getting 16 nominations is crazy.
Brilliant.
I don't think it was that good, but obviously
you don't
artistic,
know the categories.
Yeah, and artistic and all that kind of
I
stuff.
can tell you them if you want.
Dusk Till Dawn is 30 years old.
Oh, there you
Right,
go.
it's nominated for Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor Michael B. Jordan for his dual roles as twin brothers Smoke and Stack, Best Supporting Actor, Best Supporting Actress, Best Original Screenplay, Best Original Song, Best Cinematography, Best Costume Design, Best Film Editing, Best Makeup and Hairstyling, Best Production and Design, Best Sound, Best Visual Effects, Best Casting.
That's probably about 6 or 7. I can say
there was about. In my head, I was trying to keep up.
Yeah, same.
There was about like for me the
sound,
the visual effects,
the visual effects,
the visual effects.
Michael B. Jordan himself for doing the 2 roles.
Yeah, I can see a good solid 10.
Yeah, they can do well.
16 is.
I don't know about 10.
They won't do 16. The Academy won't allow that. They might get 1 or 2, but I'm gonna move on. 2 more, and then we're gonna move into the main topic. So, Man City obviously played the Champions League game, lost to Bodo Glimt. Bodo Glimt.
Yeah,
They lost 3-1. The man that are in the where is it? The Arctic Circle. That's where they went. They flew to play that game. 374 tickets were sold. Because they lost, Man City have decided to refund them man's tickets. What's your thoughts on that?
They wouldn't have done it if it was a much bigger allocation of people going. No way. If there was a much bigger amount of people going, they're not doing that.
Like if it was France.
Like if it was,
No, if there was more people.
No,
Like,
if there was
That's
thousands
what I
of
mean.
people,
Yeah, if it was in France, you had a bigger allocation.
yeah.
But listen to this. It was only for the tickets. The ticket cost for all of those tickets was just shy of 10,000.
yeah.
I didn't eat it thing then.
For 374
Why is this even on the roundup? I'm gonna take the roundup off this thing, bruv.
Right, the flight and accommodation cost them more money. I still lost. And you lost. So you know what, allow it. Still vex. Pay for all
Right.
that.
Last thing from me. So we are going to have, hopefully in the future, Marcus Tisson, comedy,
Yes.
who is on. So he's been doing a few skits. Now, some of you may not know. So if you don't know, whatever. He's been doing skits about jungle, and he put up one recently about Brockie and Det at Jungle Fever, where Det was riding the rhythm. I think it was Trouble on V Recordings. The question is there a better combination in jungle than Brockie and Det?
Nope. I don't believe so. I don't
Let's
believe
go out
so.
with a music one, isn't it?
You know,
I don't-
emotionally,
who was
sentimentally for me, nah.
Do you know what? There are better.
There are. I'm trying to think. Steve
Better
Hyper D.
combination.
Steve Hyper D and
Nicky Black Market. Was that really a better combination? Look, I'm not saying, and don't get me, I'm not saying.
Don't get me wrong. He's my guy. I grew up. We went to the same
He's from the
youth
ends.
club. Grew up in the same area,
yeah.
Upper Clapton, and Brockie's Upper Clapton as well. But Det and I same youth club. But all I'm thinking is when I was young and I was reading through, you know, like back in the day, you used to get a flyer. I used to see a flyer, and you used to see a couple link ups on the flyer.
No, but that's link ups. So I get what you're saying.
But,
the link ups
when I
don't
used to
count.
see couple combinations on the flyer, then I'll be like, woo!
Yeah, I know, but
do you know what I mean? But for longevity,
yes.
of course, they're number one.
So you've got, so if you think about combinations, and this is me going deep, you've got Pressure X ×2, you've got Tonic and Trace, you've got Stevie Hyper D, Nicky Black Market, you have got, back in the day, it used to be Shabba D, and I believe it was Redan on Weekend Rush.
Weekend Rush, yeah.
Skibbity used to flick around, RIP to
Weekend
Skibbity,
Rush.
but he used to flick around, but he used to pop up a lot on Funky Flirts shows with Shabba and Shocking. That's how the SAS was born.
What about who's Mickey Finn's
It was 5-0, wasn't it? No,
And the Moose.
5-0
Moose. Like, but again,
and the Navigator and Swift. Was it Navigator?
Yeah,
the-
Swift
the-
and
the-
Navigator.
yeah. But then
The
again,
two
what I'm
boys,
saying,
innit?
was there a better combination? We're struggling. You said no, but you can't tell me who's better.
No. What it is if there's two better people playing, but as a combination, like to say they're going to be here, they're going to be here, they're going to be here, they're going to be
yeah.
No.
Right.
Brockie and Det for me. Brockie and Det for me.
That's all you had to see on the flyer to say you were going.
No.
For me, it was. For me, it was.
All right, but you know
You're
what?
not true
though?
junglers.
But here's the thing, and that's probably saying it more than anything. For those that were not, I'm not a heavy jungle head, but I listen to jungle. But for those that were not heavy jungle heads, Brockie and Det was a template. And if you're standing out as if you're standing out as the people that we recognized, because remember, I'm not a deep jungle head, but I listened to jungle at the time. I listened to Weekend Rush, I listened to Cool FM. That was all my era. But if you're asking me who would be the standout combination, it would be Brockie and Det for me.
Right.
It has to be Brockie and Det.
And that was the range roundup. Over to the host. Who is it?
Yes, it's a whole combination today, you know. It's a whole combination
The
today.
Brockie and of the MC
Yes.
podcast.
Today's empty podcast is actually titled Why 40 Plus Looks Younger Now, but it's actually broader than that. It's broader than Why 40 Plus Looks Younger Now. It's actually a much bigger conversation about how we feel getting older, what we look at in terms of our kids growing up, and how the world is, how we view the world at our age. Very, very broad conversation. And it basically came up from one of the conversations, not even conversations, but one of the posts we had in our group, which was basically Generation X defined. And what it says, to define Generation X, they're currently 45 to 60, currently looks 30 to 45, They will throw their hands. Words can't hurt us. They've got a great work ethic and they have zero tolerance for stupid.
Wiley, can I ask a question, please?
Go on.
For the audience and for us in the room.
Go on.
Can you define what you're talking about in the sense of these generations that you're pointing? So you said Generation
So-
X. So to give us a definition of what you're...
We were going to get into the breakdown of what each generation basically was. But in terms of the generation of people that are around about 40 plus basically, those are viewed as the Generation X generation.
40 you say 40 plus, 40 to
Well,
what's the...
technically it's 45 to 60.
to
It's
60?
45 to 60. But we're stretching
Your
it to
Generation
include,
X.
We're stretching it to include Buddy. 'Cause you know Buddy was trying to be
No. If I'm not that part of the generation, then I'm
You
not
know,
part of that
you know,
generation.
Buddy wants to be the young thing in the room.
He gossips.
He hasn't got.
So what's the next generation after that?
He likes
So-
watching gossip as well.
So while I'm looking for the different generations, I'm gonna throw the ball over to Citrus because I know Citrus has got a couple things he wanted to say, but I will get to the generations in a second.
I do. But before we go down the generational route, there are just a more of a generic question that I've got for you all, and this is a question. It's not even high on the list. It's a bit lower down. With the understanding of how we are today, and seeing young people age 25. So if you know a 25-year-old, think of that 25-year-old right now. Do you believe that the 25-year-old today could function when we were 25 years old?
So first of all, I don't even think function is the word you should be using. I think you should use the word survive. Because I think when I look back at myself 25 or 25 years ago, it was a survival.
That's two different things, bro.
When you said that a 25-year-old, could they survive now? When we were that age?
25.
When we were 25?
Yeah.
When I was 25, like I said, it was a survival thing. It wasn't a case of handling it. You literally did everything. Everything that I can remember myself doing was in aid to survive. It was, I had to go to work. It wasn't a choice. It wasn't I don't feel right. I'm going because I need to pay this bill, that bill, the other. I need to get back in time to study because I'm doing a course at the time. So it was very much, as Wiley was saying a while ago, in regards to, it wasn't a choice. We just went through, our work ethics was on another level. We just understood that work had to be done to the point, sometimes our own detriment, that things that happened to us maybe shouldn't have happened. I mean, I've explained before where I got injured doing a job and whatnot, and I was fretting because I didn't want to lose my job, where actually the company didn't put things in place to prevent me from getting injured at that time. And really and truly, if that had happened now, I'd be looking at a fat paycheck. But back then, I was humble, walked into the office and looking like, I'm really sorry, can I come? I can come work tomorrow, and I've just come out of the hospital with a big plaster across my forehead. So the survival instincts that we had back then, I think, is totally, totally different. And you would speak to a young person now, and for them, their challenges are different. But for me, I look at it as much easier than what we had.
So I would say 25, it's weird. If I think of a 25-year-old, even when I think of my mum, and I think, it's a 25-year-old. No, let me
Go
land,
on.
As a 25-year-old, my mum as a 25-year-old, I think to myself, right, what was she doing? She had me. So it was like big woman, adult, whatever else not. When I reached 25, I kind of felt to myself.
You mean when your mum was 25, this marker, you're 25, this marker. So 25-year-old today, this marker.
Right.
That's explaining, but
thank you.
Thank you, Citrus, anyway. So it's like, so I'm looking at the levels and I'm thinking, when I reached 25, I didn't kind of feel like how my mum did because I didn't have any kids at the time. But I did see a lot of people that were my age had kids. And it was like, right, they've got kids and they're doing level up things. And I started to do level up things. I was working, I owned my own business at the time. It was like, I was doing level up things. I now think to myself, like your question says, a 25-year-old underneath me, and think to myself, well, what would they be doing? And I'm thinking, are you now running businesses? There are some that are doing it. So this is not a knock on any young people that are out there. There are about to say there are a lot that are doing it because there are a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of smart young people that are out there. But they're just doing it a lot differently from how we are. And something we put on the podcast only last week, or the last podcast, sorry, and we put about the fact that they're not having kids as young anymore. These are some of the things. They're now more career driven and they're doing different things. They have to grow up a little bit different. Whereas I suppose again, as parents, the our parents doing us and then us doing them, it's like we also seem to be able to the word mother cuddle them. So it's like we look after them a lot, so for a lot longer now. Whereas I suppose when you think of your mum and you think of maybe even your mum's mum, they was already probably kicked out at 25. 25, what are you doing in the yard? You should have family, you should be married, you should be working, you should be whatever it might be. So I think the generations has also changed, and the society's made the generations change.
So
in answer to the question,
go on.
no, I don't think they'll survive when we was 25 because they rely too much on technology that we did not have. We didn't have it available to us in their capacity and be able to use it how they use it. All these people that are entrepreneurs and they're influencers and all that stuff, they would not be able to do that. For them to earn money or earn real money, they'd have to have a proper job, probably
Proper
working
job.
for somebody.
What do you mean a proper job?
Yeah, you
Probably
that,
working
that
for
line.
somebody. Yeah, probably working for somebody where they've either grown in their career or they are got a niche trade or something for them to be able to be an entrepreneur. Whereas now they can make money just from filming themselves having a day in the house.
Isn't that brilliant? Rather than not.
Okay,
not.
But the question was about whether they could survive then.
Yeah.
So what they're using to survive now, or be entrepreneurs now, or be adults now, they wouldn't have been able to do.
But they've adjusted, and
So they've adjusted. They're not adjusted because this is all they know. This is all they've had.
But what I'm saying
they're
is
not adjusted.
They've
They haven't adjusted because this is all they know. It's like when we was growing up and we was 25, we were surviving with all we knew, which was different to what our parents knew and grew up. So we had different technologies, as not as advanced as they are now. So that helped us do what we did when we did it.
So we adjusted.
Yeah.
No, we didn't adjust.
And
we dealt with what was our time. They dealt with what was their time. The kids now are dealing with what was their time. Like if we put us at 25 back to when our parents were 25, we probably wouldn't have survived then either.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Wiley.
So to give it a bit of scope, so in terms of, I was asked earlier about the generations. So you got the silent generations, those that were born between 1928 to 1945. They grew up during and after the World War. Yeah, exactly.
Our grandparents.
Do you not, because this is where the generations are listed from. So I'm just going to give scope of what they are.
Okay.
They grew up during and after the World War II. Their resilience, their duty kept to their head, and they've got a keep their head down mindset. So head down, get on with it. Then you got the baby boomers, 1946 to 1964. This is when these people were born. Post-war boom, strong work ethic, property ladder generation. Yeah. Then you got the Generation X, born 1965 to 1980. Latchkey kids, analog childhood, digital adulthood. Just got on with it. Yeah. That sounds about right for my sort of generation. Then you got the Millennials, Generation Y, 1981 to 1996, came of age around 2000s, internet and optimism and economy shocks. That's that generation. Then you got Generation Z, 1997 to 2012, digital natives, social media first, more open about mental health, which is when I was talking earlier about, we was talking about mental health and emotions. This is the generation that is more open about it. Then you have Generation Alpha, 2013 to 2025, iPads from birth, AI, automation, and constant connectivity. So in tune with what you're saying, when you're saying, Tongo, about they've grown into or they're born into that, I understand what you mean, because the digital lifestyle is something they know. They don't know about dial-up. They don't even know about life before the internet. What was it called?
About CDs.
What was it called? The information superhighway at one point?
Yeah.
They don't know about all those things there.
Do they need to know about it?
This the thing. They don't need to know, because just like we didn't need to know about the lifestyles our parents had, because we had grown up in the era of microwaves, washing machines, etc.
Well, it's a bit different, a little bit different. I think we did need to know about the era that our parents grew up in, because a lot, not maybe not all, but a lot came from the Caribbean and came into kind of extreme racism. And with that, there was a teaching that they had to give their children about the dangers of being outside. Now, I'm not saying racism doesn't exist now with the generations that you were talking about, but things that like with the invent of the smartphone, if something happens, you can record it and it goes viral. When we were doing whatever we were doing, there was no viral. There was no
social media at all.
If you were lucky, 1 in a million chance, somebody might have had a VHS and was recording from afar, and even then, you couldn't make it out. So, is it that
Like Rodney King?
Well, that's what I was alluding to. Exactly that. So with that, and like, you say Rodney King, but in our lifetime, we had Damilola Taylor, we had Stephen Lawrence, before them, James Peach, Joy Gardner. You know what I mean? There was so much, but there was no internet to kind of like that bloody trial for I just said his name. I can't remember his name.
You said Martin Lawrence.
Martin Lawrence, not
Stephen
Martin Lawrence.
Stephen
Lawrence. Martin Lawrence.
That's still,
the trial at Elephant and Castle.
Yeah, that's still going on. There's still bits of it going on now. You know what I mean? Because there's no social media. There's things that social media has killed. Now, what was, again, I guess you lot will get into it, is what would be the better time to live in? Yeah, I know we are as Generation X, where we get on with it. We kind of keep calm and carry on. We were working hard. Probably many of us, when we were 25, we were, I don't know, had 2 or 3 jobs. But then to what advent? You've got someone who sits at home, makes videos of them playing NBA 2K, singing, and makes more money than the 6 of us put together. What time would what would you rather be in?
So, no disrespect to what you're saying. However, you're looking at it in isolation. And this is what young people do. When they observe streamers and influencers and they're like, wow, I can be like that guy because he's a multimillionaire because he or she have done this, and this person reads out poems every day and they're a multimillionaire and whatever else. Now, when I'm reading out poems, I'm not a multimillionaire. So what's going on? Why am I not a multimillionaire? Where the difference is,
You didn't adapt.
no, I'm talking about these are young people observing other young people.
Right.
And the point I'm going to make, the point I'm going to make is when we were 25, I had a job, I had a second job, I already bought my property. You already bought your property 25?
But would that
wait, 1 second. How old were you?
Late 20s.
Aspiring towards?
Yeah.
So you had savings at that point to buy? Yeah? Rain, did you buy?
27.
So, but you had savings at 25.
I have no savings. It was 0% mortgage. I got hooked up.
Wow, look at this guy.
It works.
Guy, look at
That's
this
a
guy.
GVC though.
Look at this guy. But no, the point I'm trying to make is, at that moment in time, there were more. Not necessarily all of us took it, because even sitting around here, we didn't all take it.
Yep.
But there were different different types of drivers to turn around and say, well, okay, like I have to work. Like at 25, I'd already left home for 7 years. So I had no options.
You see, the thing is,
so there were no options, and Sirelli and I speak about this a lot. That whereas, and Buddy's in a different generation to us, where Buddy may have had a safety blanket, I was my safety blanket.
Yeah.
So if I fell out the plane and my parachute didn't work,
you best learn to swim.
I best learn to land.
Fly.
Or roll
Fly.
on the floor.
Fly. You don't want to land.
Yeah. Because you are your safety net. So because of that, my mentality
failure's not an option.
Failure is no option. What do you mean you're not going to get paid today? Well, if I'm not getting paid today from work, I'm going to go earn some money until I get paid from work. And what you're going to do, I'm going to work it out. I don't know yet, but I'm going to make it happen. Rather than, woe is me. Do you know what I mean? Oh, let me stream and see if that's going to
Let me talk about it.
Clicks on the internet. So I turn around and say that the positioning is different. But what I do like about the era of now is, and I really like this, majority of young people, if you are good at something and you know how to explain how good you are at doing that thing, you can become rich off doing it. So I'm going to repeat it. If you are good at something and you can explain or show how you are good at something, in this day and age, you can get rich from it. From us, you could have been the best footballer, juggler, plate spinner, roti maker, do you know what I mean? Embroider. You could have been the best. Are you going to make money from it? It's a bit tight. Do you know what I mean? Now you can do it.
I think there's sorry, I'm going to come to you in a second, Sirelli, but I think there's a point that you raised there, which was about, and it basically is, I think that generation were viewed as the latchkey kids, which was, from what I understand of that term, is basically saying you'd be out and you would get back in, and that if you was home, you was home. If you wasn't home, you wasn't home. But my view of it now, when you look at the generations now, and this is what I wanted to point at, raise the point of. So I moved out when I was 19, I think 20. I might have been 20. And for me, that was viewed as being old, because all of my friends, most of my friends had moved out at 17, 18, and it was about, okay, we're going to get a flat, we're going to move out, get a flat, do whatever, council flat, whatever it is. That was the mindset at the time. The mindset of this generation, which I think is smarter, let me stay at home, save the money, and then move out. And what I like, why I say it's different is because the mindset seems to be, we're preparing you for when you move out. Because when I moved out, I wasn't prepared for life as an adult.
You had to figure it out.
I had to figure it out. And figuring it out doesn't always mean it's a good thing. Because you got to figure out, you know what, I've got to pay light bill, I've got to pay gas bill, I've got to sort out my shopping. And yes, I had a safety blanket of being able to go to my mum's house and get everything. But the point was, I still also had adult bills that I wasn't mentally built for. Whereas this generation are being, I won't even say, I think Buddy used the word mollycoddled. I wouldn't say that. I would say they're being trained, because a lot of them are paying bills in the house. They're being trained how to live on their own inside the house, which I think is probably the best way our parents probably should have handled it in that circumstance of that generation. Sorry, Kim.
I would say that I don't think we're even comparing anything close to each other. And the reason why I say that is because I feel that our generation was much more focused on not just helping ourselves, but helping people around us. The younger generation now, I believe, there are much more entrepreneurs now, because as Sid just pointed out, there are people sitting down playing a game and getting paid for playing a game. There are people who are going to restaurants, eating food and getting paid for that. The avenue or the options of having jobs which are seen, use the word proper job, as a proper job now. There is no such thing as you don't have a proper job. Everything's a proper job now. As long as you're good at it, there's no such thing as it's not a proper job. Everything's a proper job. You can't tell me something that's not a proper job. If you're getting paid for it and you're making a living from it and it's coming in every month or once a year, whatever the case may be, and it's sustaining your lifestyle, it's a proper job.
So is OnlyFans a proper job?
It's a proper job.
Of course it is.
I was asking.
Of course it is.
Because a lot of people look down on OnlyFans.
Yeah, you may look down on it because
I'm saying.
Yeah,
Do you
may look
do you
down on
even
it
know what
because-
OnlyFans is for?
I know what it's originally for, but I'm saying what people associate it with.
Associated for.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
look, to give you
Right,
scale,
so
if you lived in Amsterdam, you could go to the bank and get a mortgage as a OnlyFans, as a worker of the night, and you put that on the form and they give you the mortgage. What do you make? What do you make every year? Here's my tax returns. So
I'm not
that
saying it's not
phrase,
a proper job. I'm just saying,
doesn't exist anymore.
I was just asking because that's something that I know that people frown on.
Yeah,
Down
I
on.
appreciate that, but that doesn't exist anymore. So that's why I say now there's more entrepreneurs. When we were younger, if I had to think back, and Citrus, you're in that boat as well, who did you look up to say, oh wow, you don't have a 9 to 5, you've got an unconventional job and you are making good money?
Who had a business?
Yeah, it was people who maybe had a stall
Do
selling clothes.
you know who had a business, who I looked up to? And for some reason, I say I look up to him. I can't remember his name. Who used to own Palace?
Oh.
With the Bentley. Not Bentley, Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
But begins with B. Surname begins with B.
But anyway, there was a nightclub in Clapton roundabout,
Not Bentley.
and the guy owned it for years.
He had several.
Yeah, he had several businesses
Did
and
he own
clubs.
Times as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think at one point he did.
And he used to own a couple of clubs down West End,
Yeah.
in Soho.
Something.
So to give you scale, that was, if we looked at somebody who didn't have a traditional 9 to 5, he was the person who'd be like, oh wow, you're not just a businessman.
Anthony Brightly.
Right.
Yes.
And it's
Anthony
totally
Brightly.
B.
Thank you. So it was totally different. And this is why I say now you talk to a young person and they tell you the things that they want to do. As an older person, you're looking at it and you're like, what?
Can I
That ain't
say something?
But then you realize that this, if they do it correctly,
Young generation.
can
It's on a roll now, innit?
can live and support a very good lifestyle. I just said I moved out when I was 18.
So over to Generation Y in the corner.
This whole thing is
Why for that?
so unfair.
Go on.
One, because we don't have somebody of that generation on this podcast
Generation
right now.
Y.
No, not mine. He's talking beyond mine. So it's like it's very unfair to be saying how they haven't had to struggle like we have. They haven't had to go through certain things that we have, because we don't know that, because we're not there.
They've had their own struggles.
They've had their own
Not
struggles.
in our capacity is what we're saying.
Now
We don't know.
you don't know
The question was actually if they would survive
As a 20, yeah.
the original
as,
when you said.
as the age 25.
Yeah.
And,
in
and
our
I,
era
and
of
I just
being
feel that
25.
they'll just adjust to it. And I feel to myself, what you've got to understand to yourself is that times change. So back in the day, we used to use A to Z to travel around the whole of London.
Yes.
And it was easy. I used to sit there with my dad, and I used to go through it. A to Z.
One second.
It's not
Remember,
easy.
the thing is, you're saying A to Z, like people know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
A book. A book. Right. Sorry,
Sorry, guys.
Not everyone can read it A to Z.
let me finish.
Go on.
So basically, we'd go through the book.
Wait, bad. Please, you need to explain what an A to Z is.
So A to Z is a book. Is basically a book of. It was a book
A
a map of England. To be fair,
It's a road
whatever
map
else.
of either the city or the country.
Or an
They had-
area.
Yeah.
Or an area. They had various.
it was a
capacities.
roadmap.
Editions.
It was basically satnav. Like,
Yeah.
let's just make
Manual
it easier.
satnav.
Yeah.
Paper satnav.
Right. So we've got the satnav, and how we used to do before, we used to have a book and we used to go through it. A to Z, that's how I used to get around. I used to work and I used to do shipping with my dad, and we used to get to different locations. You give me an address, we'll look it up, and I have to find the road to get to where we're getting to. Minor thing, used to go through it, easy. We now use satnav. Before what TomTom it was, and then afterwards it was your phone. And when we got the phone now, we've used this. I couldn't tell you. I don't care about roads anymore. I couldn't tell you how to do it, because my knowledge now is type this. Give me your postcode. I'll type it into my satnav,
And I get there.
and I'll get
And
there.
I'll just zone out.
Brother,
Because my
I never
phone will
paid-
say, turn left.
It says you turn left
in
to the wall.
20 yards.
There's a wall there.
Yeah.
There must not be a wall there, because it
Let me
says
just drive.
Let me just drive. It must.
Let me
it's
Harry
to go
Potter the
through it. You know what I mean? So we've adjusted in it. So as much as you're saying what you're saying at the moment, we adjust. Because now, if you turn and say to me, go back to now using an A to Z, I'm like, yo, how do we do this again? You go to the back of the book, you find the part, then it's got to go to this page. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Do we do
A7,
this?
scroll down.
Yeah, brother. This
Look for the
is
square.
a madness.
Can I ask a question? You said we survive. Yeah. Are you talking about the younger generation would survive?
They would survive.
He said they would adapt.
Yeah,
They'll
adapt.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if they're as resilient as
you
that.
know-
How did you
I don't
adapt?
think they're as resilient as that.
You know what it is? If you
This is the younger
simply
generation.
swap a 25-year-old from now into then, I don't think they do survive. I don't think they do adapt. However, if they were, and this is like an oxymoron, if they were
There at the time.
born
Yeah.
into it, then
Yes,
of course they
then
would,
they would.
because then
Yes,
they
they're
would
born
adapt.
into it. Yeah.
But
You're saying that why wouldn't they survive? I don't
If,
understand.
as in, I understand what Rain's saying. As in, if you was to pick up a 25-year-old now, take them back to when we were 25 and just drop them there and
Listen.
pick
If I was
us
to
up.
drop any of you lot 150 miles in the wrong direction, you're going to be in the exact same predicament. Do you get what I mean? So I think it's completely unfair. So if I took one of us now
Yeah.
and said, do you know what? Actually, the police have said you need to leave this area and go and live 250 miles away. I'll tell you what,
live in France.
Even better version. No. Rain, we've actually realised you're not a UK citizen. So we're going to drop you in Jamaica over here and you're going to have to live there.
is that the same as the time though?
What I'm saying
answer that. Go on.
is you're taking someone out of their comfort of life now.
Yes.
What they know.
Dropping them
I've got an
into
answer for that.
a different comfort of life. And no disrespect, that part of Jamaica, Rain, we've got no running
lights.
electric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's a
Zinc
yard
houses
there,
and the
but
rest of it.
you have to go and catch your food or pick your food and cook from scratch. Running water, sanitations, everything else. That's up to you to deal with. Good luck, okay?
But now I could do that. That's a minor.
I agree with you.
Minor.
I agree with you.
It's no.
If I took you lot and put you in a bush,
No,
you're gonna tell me it's a minor.
Yeah.
I'm not having it.
I
Brother,
think.
I'm with you on this one.
Sorry, 1 second.
They don't mind.
I think we would adapt easily.
Now all of a sudden we'll adapt.
No, because that is the question. The question
How do you
is,
make fire?
and I'll use the point of, because you're saying Jamaica. I'll use the point of, if you was to take me to Nigeria and just drop me into deep Nigeria, would I be able to survive? I will be able to survive because I'm resilient. I've grown up on resilience. The issue is, the issue is, have the generation of now grown up on resilience?
I said they're not resilient, literally, said it 5 minutes ago. But the point is, as well, with them, if you give them something from our era and tell them to use it or function it, they are clueless.
Of course they are. Oh, come on, man.
Okay, let me give it.
If it was a war and I said, Tongo, drive the tank.
Let me finish.
Go on, Tongo, go on.
Let me finish.
Go on.
But when we was younger, we could do things like, all right, there's an old radio, it's not working. We'd open it and fix it.
Who's we?
Or a Walkman.
Lost me there.
Your Walkman. Or
I was
fixing it.
I was fixing it.
Or them, like,
because
I need a new one.
They're from before our time, but we could manage it. They would be baffled about what to do with it.
You know what it is?
What, skill sets? This is bollocks.
No, it's not skill sets.
He's got
It's because, he's got a very good point there. Because the technology that we grew up with, that we started with, was the technology that we had grown into. The manual labor mindset. And this is why it goes back to that generation of us being the Generation X, being the workers, and they just got on with it. The manual labor mindset was there. There's no manual labor now.
No, this is down to teachings.
No.
I want to talk for a second because it's annoying. Because I'm thinking to myself, let's take us back into the 1900s, and you have to send a message. I've got to get a pigeon, attach a note, and train the pigeon to go to Dean's house to turn and say, yeah, this is the message I want to send. He's got to do the same thing back to me. You dump me in that generation right now. I ain't got a freaking clue because no one ain't taught me that.
All right, but hold on. As I said, put Tongo in a tank. Could you imagine just put it to MC Podcast?
1 second.
And just pressing the button. Look, let me give you the difference. That's not happening.
When we're the generation that had tape decks and all those kind of things, if you had a cassette and it had your favorite mix on it, and you put it in the thing, you're playing it, and then it gets screwed up in the
Shoot up.
What would you have done?
Oh, yeah, it was operation. But
Do you understand what I'm saying? Let me finish.
There was a class for it.
Sirelli.
When I say we're taught this, I've seen this happen. I've seen my uncle do it.
Buddy, let him finish his point. Let him finish his point. Go on.
The creativeness, the curiosity, the willing to make something work that we didn't understand kicked in.
I'm not losing that Brockie and
We're
that set.
taking that tape, we're getting sellotape, cutting this, trying to make it,
Chop a piece out.
and stick it together.
Manual labour.
Now,
And the young generation doing it.
hold on.
I'm out of here.
There is a point to what you're saying that is somewhat true, in the sense of, if you put in an environment that I don't know, I'm more than likely going to fail. However, our generation was on, it can't fail. I need to find a way to make it work. And because of that, it made us push ourselves a bit further. So for example...
Not everyone. Don't boost the generation up like that.
Not everyone.
The generation is not all like that.
Not everyone, but it gave us that. So how many of us here, by the age of 10, had used a screwdriver?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah? You're using a screwdriver to open your Walkman because something fell or something broke, or you were trying to fix something.
I was just screwing shit.
You were screwing shit. You had an old toy and it didn't work. You're taking it apart at some point to try and see if you can make it work.
Transformer.
You know what? Hold on. This generation, if something doesn't work, they're much less inclined to try and fix it.
I'm going to buy a new one.
I'm going to get a new one.
Yes, bro. My son does it. And I can sit there and say, I've seen my son do it and watched him do it. So when you're saying it, sorry?
Because he learned from you.
Some of it is just his choice. No, but some of it's his choice. You can say that, but you're not in my household, bro. All right? So you can say what you want to say. You're not in my house.
Go on.
What I'm saying to say to you is, at the end of the day, he's making those decisions. You can't sit there and say, because you've done it, that this generation ain't going to do it. They adapt. You adapt to life. Life will teach you certain things. There's people out, like Citra said, you go to Jamaica, there's certain people in the rough parts of Jamaica can do bare things way better than I can. They can you want me to catch a fish for you? He's probably 10. And I'm like, I'm a big ass man and I can't catch a fish that way. Trust me, just come here and I'll catch it. Because they've had to adapt to their lifestyle. Yeah. And that's showing that, wait a second, he's the younger generation.
To the lifestyle. That is their lifestyle.
There's two different things you're talking about.
So this is the thing. They've had to learn those things. It's a part of their lifestyle. So if you turn and say to me about the tape thing, when you use the tape example, the tape gets chewed up, you've seen this. Have you seen this one do it? You've seen that one do it. You've seen it somewhere. You've seen it.
There was no.
Or like you tried to say, you've taken it out and said to yourself, "Let me try and fix it," which is the same thing that the younger generation would try and do. This is a human reflex, so they will still do it. You saying that they're not got the capability to do it?
No.
Then citrus. Then I've got something.
You saying that they haven't got the capability to do it is madness.
I'm not saying no one's got the capability to do it. But if you think about the tape example, if I think about not all, some 25-year-olds, if I gave them a tape, they'd look at it and think, what is this? And that's the issue. So when you're saying drop somebody into that time frame, there's certain things that they just won't know. So therefore, maybe I'm looking at it too logical. I'm thinking, right, you're going to take someone and just drop them. Will they understand? Of course they won't.
Take them to the 1900s.
But then we wouldn't understand in the 1900s.
Yeah, I wouldn't know what to do.
But again, if again, maybe I'm looking at it too tunnel vision. I'm just thinking you're taking someone and putting them 25 years in the past who's 25 now. Bang. Will they understand it?
To be honest, it's the same in reverse. If you took us at 25 and dropped us into now, with the technology that exists and how advanced it is, would we manage?
Yes.
I think we'd manage easily.
I think we would.
I think we'd manage easily.
Going forward in technology instead of backwards.
There's a couple of points, and I think we're not being like for like. It's not fair.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So because it's not like for like, the argument can bend in the wrong direction. And one of the things that I've got to say is, I believe any of us, if you put us on a boat with a spear and a net and cast us out in the middle of the ocean and said, I'm going to be back in a month.
Dead.
Yeah. Who's still alive?
Dead.
Do you know what I mean? Everything you need is on the boat to survive. Who will survive? Do you know what I mean? We're on one boat, 25-year-olds on another boat, 65-year-olds on the next boat. Who survives?
The
And at the end of
65-year-old
the
is
day,
surviving longer than we are.
talk for yourself. I'll be cannibal. If it works, I'm being Wiley.
You know what I mean? Looks like dead, bro. Yeah.
We got life on pie over here, bro.
So what I'm trying to say is, I think it's hard when you generalize. It's so difficult.
Yeah.
What I would add is many 25-year-olds that I've been in contact with, when they are faced with an issue that might be an adverse situation, the will to succeed is much, much, much lower than the will to succeed when I was 25.
I'm going to jump onto that because...
Before you do let me just say one word.
Go on.
Changing a tire.
So my point was to say the resilience levels of the two generations. So I'm going with Generation X, which is our generation. I'm gonna include Buddy. I know he's not out. I know he's slightly outside, but I'm gonna include Buddy. And Generation Z, which is those that are more internet based. Yeah. Generation X is more survival based. Generation Z's resilience is more adaptive based. Then you have a situation like Generation X dealt with more physical risk and neglect, whereas Generation Z deals with mental load and visibility. Generation X was told to get on with it. Generation Z is taught to name and manage emotions. So they got less tolerance for suffering. We've got less tolerance for physical suffering. They've got less tolerance for mental suffering. But this part of it, we could kill ourselves on it. One of the things I wanted to find out is, I go back to that original post that we had that actually led to the whole conversation, which is currently 45 to 60, currently looks 30 to 45. Why do we look younger generally than those of that age range? When I saw 45-year-olds, 50-year-olds when I was a kid, I saw them as being old.
But
it don't seem to be the case now.
You have what I would share is you have to remember what it is we were looking at. So our idols were on 4 channels. How old is channel 5? Maybe 5 channels. If you were special, you had satellite and cable. Right? But we were watching... and cable. We were watching... what's his name? Mr. Meldrew.
Victor
Meldrew. One Foot in the Grave.
Hyacinth
You were
Bouquet.
watching... Quantum Leap.
Oh shit,
You
Sam
were
Beckett.
watching
Gaza.
Batman thing.
You watching MacGyver, Knight Rider, the A-Team. So
A-Team.
you have to think to
Street
yourself,
Hawk.
who are we idolizing ourselves towards,
And their age brackets.
and what age they were presenting at. So our school teachers were told, you wear a checkered shirt. I can't remember what the blazers were called, but wear a blazer, brown corduroy trousers, green corduroy trousers.
And they were older.
And they weren't. They weren't. Just think about it. They weren't.
They weren't.
But they
Our-
visually look
Now I look at it, I think to myself,
our
they were our
teachers
age and younger.
are younger.
Yeah, than what we
The
was.
teachers that taught us
Were younger
are
than what we
younger
are.
than what we are now.
Yeah.
So I have a question then.
That shocks me.
Because I have gone to my son's school and seen PE teachers, and I'm like, I can't tell if you're a student or if you're a member of staff. But when we were at school, to me,
There was a distinct difference.
there was a distinct
No,
difference.
because at the time, and I would share at the time, you wouldn't have necessarily have in our school anyway. You wouldn't have a young PE teacher. Our PE teacher was a retired footballer. Do you know what I mean? As a goalkeeper.
Yeah, shouts out to Mr. Williams.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeovil.
Our teacher was a retired footballer, played for Scotland and all sorts.
So was that because you had to do more time in your field or your industry to then
To get even qualified to be a teacher.
yeah, because back
So-
then,
but-
given the scale, electrician would have to have done 5 years on site before he became a qualified electrician. Now you can send somebody to college, they can do a 1-year compressed course, come out, do 6 months on site, and
now they got a van.
yeah.
But even then, I understand what you're talking about. You're talking about as a general thing, it wasn't much of a difference. But physically, I look at people that are our generation. I couldn't, and how many? I mean, generally, people don't seem to be looking
The crazy-
their ages.
The crazy thing is this: you can meet. I'm going to talk about black women. I can meet a black woman, and she'll say something to me, and I'd want to respond back respectfully. And in my head, I'm like, 25, 35, 45, or 55. I don't know. I'm going to respond to encapsulate anyone that falls in that age range. Do you know what I mean? And I'm very respectful. If someone's older than me, I'm going to speak to you differently than if you're younger than me or my age. Just how I
Go
was
back
raised.
25 years though. Would it have been easy for you to work out the difference of ages? Because this is the point I'm making.
But Wiley, no disrespect. Look how you're dressed.
This is my point.
Do you get what I mean?
No, but this is my point. Where did that shift become that? Because I think we've I don't want to say we haven't grown up, but we've grown up in an age where
I don't think I've grown
I
up.
haven't grown up at all.
yeah. But that's the thing. We've grown up in an age where it's okay to still be
kid at heart.
fashionable. It's okay to still be young at
No,
heart.
no,
It's okay to still do that.
It's just to jump in there. What
Go
it
on.
is, we grew up with the fashion evolving. So when we started to properly pay attention to fashion, go raving, whether it be cool school, whether it be going to Samantha's, Geneva's, if you were unfortunate to go down there, you know what I mean? Like, fashion was evolving to a point. We stopped wearing pointy shoes. We was wearing wallabies, you know what I mean? Like, the whole baseball cap thing has just carried, innit? It started off with, I can't remember if it was baseball or whatever, or NBA, but we carried it and it came culture. So the thing is that if you're talking about people looking a certain way, we dress in accordance to the fashion that we've grown with, full stop.
And that stayed relevant until now,
It
innit?
stays relevant. It, like, people, like, for example, how long have Tim's been a fashion thing? It's still they're still wearing them now.
So even the older generation that we're even saying are old in that aspect, we're sitting there thinking about it. They grew according to theirs as well. So where they would have actually followed what was their time and what was in.
I'm not buying that.
Yeah.
I don't ever think my mum saying, "Oh, I'm gonna go to this fashion designer and buy an outfit." My mum would have gone to this type of shop
Yeah.
that would have
Davis.
sold.
Yeah.
Does anyone remember Davis? My dad used to shop in Davis.
Yeah.
It was on Tottenham High Road,
Yeah.
Edgware Road. My dad would not wear trainers. Like now, he won't wear trainers. He's wearing shoes.
But then
But strangely, when we was younger, there was still some old men that their whole fashion was they wear tracksuits, they wear trainers. That's all they used to wear, just tracksuit and trainers.
Tongo's
There was
talking
some
about the mandem that used to stand outside of
No,
the
I'm
bookies.
not.
In a clip suit.
Yeah.
And the Falcon Eye hat.
Yeah.
Like there was some older people that would wear.
Oh, you seen them?
It might be a
16-year-olds.
velour tracksuit.
Oh, now you
and
see
then
the one in
tracksuits
mobility.
and trainers only.
Still wearing the tracksuit.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean. But again, I think the point is that we, I think I can't remember what your thing said, but we have grown with fashion, and the fashion is still relevant. Now, there are some things that are happening in regards to fashion that we would never do, and that's the mutation.
Some of it's recycling as well.
And don't be surprised. I'm not putting on anyone's children, but you never know. Some of our children may adopt those things in fashion, namely
Like the big red
the
trainer
boot-
shoes,
the red
those
boots,
shoes,
the
the
mega
big
boots.
things.
not even that far. Wearing skirts. Like you got NBA players wearing skirts and whatnot, and there is a argument to say that they're in tune with whatever. Fine, great, but that's
Baggy clothes are coming back in
us.
again, apparently.
But baggy clothes I can get, because when we were growing up, baggy clothes was the thing.
Yeah.
And then it became straight.
Straights. But now
It's
it's
gone
coming,
back to-
now it's
as I
coming
said,
back to and
recycled.
flares.
Yeah,
I've seen a new thing where girls and that they start to wear flares again. I'm like, flares? Where does this come
Women
back?
can get away. Like the trends that women have, that they can
They're
recycle
seasonal.
them. There's certain things that we can't get away with. The flower shirts with the big ting open showing.
No,
Nah,
happen
you're
again.
not doing that.
I'm coming back to it.
What, the shirts? Okay.
The age, no, the age thing. So yesterday in our podcast group,
Oh,
shout goes out to Clive GVC. He said
he
At
posted
our
a
age-
video. Yeah.
we should be able to get down and bang. Well, let me reverse back. So start out from this point. If everyone in your group chat could complete
Thank you.
25 press ups, and the group chat will then receive £5 million, who in the group chat
Bales.
will let you down?
Okay. This happened in our group, and I'm gonna say the man them didn't rate me. And,
You did 20, not 25. So
no. The second lot. Don't.
He had to
Right.
rerun it.
But yeah, but in answer to the question, because I was surprised, because I thought, it should be a minor, not a minor, like 25 press ups if you don't go to the gym and whatnot is difficult. But
and we said from the code, so no
yeah,
gym,
no gym,
no
exactly.
warm up, no nothing. Just right now, get down. 25 press ups.
All I'm going to say is 3 man in this room passed, 3 man in this room failed.
Yeah, that's right.
That's-
no,
that's-
failed.
No fail.
Not failed.
No fail.
I didn't-
Not
I
failed,
didn't-
did-
I
did
didn't-
not
I
pass
didn't-
the
Yeah, so that's a failure, bro.
I'll be straight.
Do you know what I mean? You go to do your GCSEs, you don't turn up, you don't pass. So you failed, bro.
you didn't do it.
You didn't do it, so get out.
So
I'm a loser.
So I'm going to defend my character.
No,
here
I don't
because
care.
I went entering.
Was you- did-
the
So-
vi-
so-
Oh, you-
so
you
the
did
viewers-
So we lost the
viewers-
money.
So we lost the money. So
we
no
didn't get
5 million.
money. You didn't get no money. I didn't
No,
get no
no
money.
5
No
million.
money.
Come on, let's do
My,
it.
my point being is that I didn't do it because I knew I couldn't do it, because my shoulders at this age with my shoulder injuries are never
At
going to
this
do it.
age, I like that.
So when
So-
you say you feel, when you feel as you really don't.
No, it's not.
No,
That's
this
not
is
him.
the thing.
That's
This is the
feeling.
thing.
Say that one out.
It's a different feeling.
And this is the thing. This is the thing about it, is that physically, I think we all feel we can do everything.
So Wiley, before you continue,
Go on.
So anyone watching right now, press pause or press play, whichever one is going to work. Get down, 25 press ups. Give us a thumbs up if you achieved it.
Yeah, very true.
And put your age.
Yes.
No, I said
Put your
age.
age next to
And
it.
a mutation of that, how you started the conversation about the group chat, screen record this and put it into your group chat, and then have that discussion. Please, I'd love to know, because our group failed. We
Failed miserably.
We look. How many man
I
in the
did
group?
50.
I did 75 in total.
I did 75 in total. Let's
Yeah,
be real.
yeah,
But
I did
alright,
75 in total.
I did 40 odd, but in 2 different sessions.
That's fair, 45. Yeah. 45.
But I
So
did-
man did 0.
Yeah, and
So
I
you know
did
what
the
I mean?
25
I
after
didn't
the
even do it
first.
at
Someone
all.
said,
What
I'm going
was
to
it?
try it. I didn't post anything.
No, but this is what I said.
This was 3 days later. This was 3 days later.
I ain't pointing to no one.
Okay, cool.
Man said go onto the pads.
My man said, I'm going to do it here on the table.
Okay. I attended a 9 night yesterday, which is why I didn't do it.
Okay.
Okay, so
Sorry to hear
Oh,
for
there's a-
about the
right,
9
yeah,
night,
night.
but
So-
it is a 9.
Night.
What time does it happen?
So it was during the day when we did the press ups.
Bruh.
No, there's
So there's a whole day today as well,
Nine.
right?
It's a 9.
Night.
You could have done 9 during the day.
obviously had other activities being done during the day that I would not like to disclose.
Well, you know what?
on
Just
here on the podcast.
Go, buddy,
Just
buddy,
on-
buddy.
on-
Not like to disclose here on the podcast.
All right, no, just on that though, that's one of the problems in what you said. I'm not saying whatever you had to do wasn't important, but it's when you don't take that moment to say this is important for your health.
And do you know what? It took 1 minute to do the 50
Less than a minute.
press ups.
Right. So I'll be straight. I weren't doing it because I don't business. I've got a torn rotator cuff in this shoulder. I've had an operation on that shoulder. I have no intention, tune the violin. I have no intention of injuring myself further for the sake of the group chat getting 5 million. So
You could have done squats or sit-ups. Do you know what I mean? Just to participate.
So here's the thing.
But you didn't do anything.
Here's the thing. I said
you're a team player.
I said if it included sit-ups, I'll be able to do it. Or if you want to talk about I think you added in about running the mile.
Yeah.
I will be that. I've done the marathon twice, so I will be fine with that. However, the press-up thing, no, not on my shoulders.
So the point is, and I'll talk about me. Out of all the exercises, I enjoy press-ups the most. They hurt, but I actually enjoy when you get into the rhythm of it and you feel the burn and you get to that level of achievement. And you know, myself and Buddy, we've done a press-up challenge where you start on 10 and you end up on 200. And then when you've done 200 and you're like, what do I do now? But I remember when it was time to do 70, I was dreading it. But now I'm going to do 70 first, then I'm going to rest. Then I'm going to go and do...
exactly.
Do you know, but I had to get to the 70, and it's about the mindset. So now I would say to myself, well, I'm not an old person. Sure, of course I can do 50 press-ups. When I did the 50 press-ups yesterday, I was getting through them, got through the initial burn and pain part, hit 37. My brain already started to say, stop.
You idiot, what are you doing?
You can't do this.
Yeah, no drink.
The wrestling match I had with myself is, but you can do 200. So while I'm doing the press-ups in the video, if I could just do the little, you know, like where the brain, where you see the speech bubbles, it would have said, it's 44. There's 6 left. My arms are on fire through them. But I said to myself, I'm recording myself. And my boys are going to see this. I'm not going to stop now. Do you know what I mean? I have to get to 50. So even if 46, 47, 48 were like, in my head, because I was resting myself, I was like, I have to do it. But a 25-year-old, in my books, she'll be able to slap it out.
Here's the funny thing though. You said in that, what you were saying there.
Not necessarily.
In what you said there, you said, you thought to yourself, I'm not old. But technically we are.
According to,
and this is the thing, according to the ideas of being old, when we get to a certain age, we are old. If you think about footballers, they retire. If you think about sports athletes, whatever, at the ages we are,
You'll be coming to the end of your career.
you're already at the end of your career. You've retired. You're finished.
however, I can't use a sport professional athlete as my marker. That's not.
Unless you play darts.
I'm about to say darts as well.
That's so bowls or snooker even. But my point is,
Or your
is that
Cristiano Ronaldo.
if you look at conventional, and this is what I was saying about looking about how we're aging compared to the generations before us, because I think the generations before us, I don't know if it's because they had a harder life. I don't know if it's because they didn't.
More physical.
They had more physical. I don't know what it was, but I don't feel like the generation of now of 40 to 50 is the same. I feel like this generation of 40 to 50 is different.
I think are much
it's different.
more. Sorry.
I think it has a lot to do with the actual technology around us. Now people have much easier ways to find out things about themselves. I mean, before the podcast started, we started talking about injections, weight loss and stuff like that. I think this is something that we're more comfortable to have that conversation now. Whereas before, everybody had their illnesses or their deformities or whatever it was in secret, and it wasn't something that was highlighted, so it wasn't spoken about. You know, you got an aunt with a gimp foot, whatever the case may be, nobody spoke about it. It was just auntie with the gimp foot. But now you've got parents who want to play football with their kids.
Do we take care of ourselves better now?
Of course,
100%.
but we're in a much more vain state. Like how we observe ourselves is completely different.
Very, very
Do
true.
you know what I mean? Much more body conscious. Do you know what I mean? Like even if you think the amount of gyms open today to the amount of gyms open 25 years ago, completely different.
Health
if
spas.
you think the amount health spas, whole food shops,
Gyms in local parks for free.
free, parks being open.
Parks in general, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
No, parks were open back in the day.
But what were people doing in the park?
Swings, you know what
Do you know what I mean?
Okay,
Ring.
swings.
Swing-
Pause.
Out there, bud. But all I'm saying is how we approach life. But coming back to the point where I was addressing black women, that now when you observe black women right now, it's so hard to gauge.
100%.
To gauge them. I just, you meet someone, I'm a grandma. What? Do you know what I mean?
Great grandma.
And this is my daughter and my granddaughter. I thought you were all sisters. Do you know what I mean? I can't actually tell, unless I'm studying you, and why am I watching you that hard? But unless I'm studying you, like, I can't tell.
There's certain things on TikTok or even Instagram where you see the great grandma, the grandma, the mum, the daughter of the mum, and then her daughter, and it's like, it's mad. It's just wild. And you know what? In fairness, it's not just attributed to black women. There are other.
There's a scale.
Other places around the world which may not classify themselves as black, but they have
melanated skin.
Element, that there. That is attributed to, but it is difficult to kind of identify. But it is what it is.
Can I put something a little bit not change of topic, but change of focus on this topic? The things that are put out there in the internet right now, and I don't know if you had it on your list anywhere.
In terms of
like, so we go out, and nowadays you'll go out and you'll see people our age dancing on tables, walking up, winding up, whatever else not. And now obviously these things are now recorded, and they're put on the internet, they're put on Facebooks and the Instagrams and the YouTubes and whatever else not. And it's like they're all put on these platforms, and they're out there for the world to see. Now you think to yourself, growing up as a 20-year-old, even though let's go a bit younger, say you're ending part of school, so 15, 16, and you're now seeing videos of your mum on a table, or your dad walking up over there, and do you know what I mean? Like, why is that now? Like, was they doing that back then? Is probably one of my questions. Was our parents now doing those type of wild shenanigans back then? And
Absolutely.
do people realise?
Yeah, they were.
You reckon they was?
Absolutely.
Don't be confused.
We don't.
I'll give you an example. So I saw some videos, I suppose it's from the 90s. It will be our generation, but it would have been the parents at those times when there was in things like Freaknik in America. I think is it Atlanta? Now my point is
Freaknik.
My point
That's like
is
the Weekender. But
my point is those people now are grandparents. So if you're saying what the parents doing at the time, yeah, they were. It's just that there wasn't the means for seeing what they were doing.
Yeah.
Now everything is on the socials.
If someone come up with a camcorder, you stop your activity. Now, or one of the mandem could be
looking for the camcorder.
Yeah, or bring out a phone. You just need a phone.
No, blood. You could be doing whatever you're doing in a corner, and a man takes out his phone and he's filming that subject. You're in the background, but then you're doing your thing. That's you captured.
So do you think it's acceptable? And are we accepting of it now because this is now part of our life? That's what we see.
Granny scrubbing out in the corner. If that's what life was then.
So one thing that I do appreciate, and a lot of people won't, how life has evolved, is people can now express themselves and not necessarily suppressed. Where I think it crosses a line is where you do not respect other members of your family. So for example, there are people in relationships, married, and some of the activities that may or may not be taking place that are now captured are now bringing, Wiley used the term very eloquently, saying he wouldn't expect his partner to do anything to put his relationship in
risk,
jeopardy.
To do something, to embarrass me what I wouldn't do for her. No.
Right. So with that in mind, if everyone lived to that code, then of course, go and enjoy yourself. If you wanna go to a nudist spa, book away and head over to Germany. Do you get what I mean?
So, but the problem is though, I don't know that I'm gonna end up with that person that's gonna say exactly the same thing that Wiley just said. So I might do it now, not thinking anything of it, dance, walk up, do whatever, you know what I mean, public, whatever. And it's like I've done it now, and now all of a sudden I'm older, so I'm now like, calm down, time to kind of rest off and whatever else not. But yet still, this thing's still on the internet. Do you know what I mean? I don't even want to mention his name, but the New Year's Eve famous meme, he's still on the internet to this day.
But then you see that you go back to when we had the conversation about the Lily Phillips situation. We was talking about, is it something that if she was now going into teaching or whatever, is it something that should be held against her for the past? The viewpoint was that it shouldn't be, because it's something that just happened, innit? And this is the thing, is that if you have to be, I was saying, and I still believe, you have to be self-aware to know that whatever you're doing, if it's something that you're risking yourself being used in the future against you, know that whatever you're doing in public can be captured. So just know whatever you're doing in public, if it can be captured, it can be captured. It can be used against you. Same thing like the Freaknik generation that I'm referring to, they were not thinking of social media. We're in an era of social media where everyone knows what's going on. Sorry, Citrus.
Sorry, to add more to that, I believe the generation now, not only do they understand that, they don't care about it. As Citrus was saying, we're at a point now where being filmed or being put on the internet isn't seen as as a big thing as we make it to be.
It's not a negative.
We see it as, boy, you know what I was on. But for them, news stories, I mean, look what's going on with Donald Trump.
It's an intention. Because they're going to get viral, they're probably going to get famous and make money. That's what you think.
There are people, as I said earlier, that are making money from the most ridiculous things. And now you're sitting back and you're like, well, would I have done that? Like the person you mentioned about the whole, New Year's thing. If he had spun it differently, we would be having a totally different...
We spoke about this years ago.
Yeah, he would be running his own line of this and that and the other. So it really depends on the mentality that you have and, where you are with it mentally. One thing that Citrus said that was very true though, the mindset of the generation now is totally different to what we had. They are more comfortable talking about things. They're more comfortable to say, no, this is not acceptable. No, I will not allow you to do this. And in a way, it's a double-edged sword because it means you're expressing yourself, but it also means that you've almost given yourself another avenue of vulnerability if you do not know how to express yourself in the correct way.
Before Citrus jumps in, very quickly around the room, if that situation was a New Year's situation had happened in 2025, do we think that that person comes out the other side a winner?
26?
Yes.
2026, sorry.
100%.
Winner.
100%.
No, I think he...
I believe they could... I'm of the view that they could,
it depends how he channels it.
spin it into a win.
He could have done it then.
He doesn't need to do it.
But he didn't do it.
Brands would come to him. That's the difference between then and now.
He can still do it now. And if he's watching,
yeah, he could.
You could still speak. No one knows your story. So whatever your story is going to be.
You can chuck him on as a guest.
Well, if you want to come on, you can tell your story, yeah. But if a PR team can potentially spin anything. That's to be positive. Now, he might not have known that at the time. And let's look, who are we talking about? What was his name? Dominic Soler. Yeah, right. So we're talking about him. Now, the right person, and let's use Kim Kardashian. Very extreme.
Yes. Sorry, Rain, before you even go down that route, just to piggyback, do you remember the girl with the glue? Gorilla Glue girl. Do you know she now has a she has a glue brand.
Mad.
She has glue merch. She's done a film about and it's called something like The Girl That Glued Her Hair.
Mad.
Do you know what I mean? And she still does podcasts, guest shows, appearances off the back of
that
gluing
situation.
So then her hair down.
I'll give you two more examples. So the girl that said hot tour.
She done well for a bit.
And then the other one who turned into a rapper. What was her name? And she said, I'll meet you outside or catch me outside.
Yes.
I can't remember what her name is. So she was on Maury and then someone said something to her and she goes, catch me outside. And someone made it into a song. Then she got a PR company who she's a rapper now apparently. She's rich. Right. Now, Dominic.
What was you saying about Kim Kardashian?
Kim Kardashian slept with Ray J on a tape. And there's a bit of thing of her mum really, who cares? What it was is that somebody pushed it out there and marketed
it in a way.
Look, with all of the social media, like he could have went on, like Dominic could have went on our podcast, Filthy Fellas. He could have probably went on to maybe even Piers Morgan, you know what I mean? Then off the back of that, he could have wrote a book, you know what I mean? Or he could, imagine the flip. There's man out there that will go out there to do that and don't care. He could have wrote a book. This is how you do it.
Yeah.
And it sells. You know what I mean?
There's put your face on products. Yeah, the
You could have made a short film.
Yeah, lipstick that.
But the thing is,
You could do bare things.
does the individual want to be associated with that? Because I've heard he changed his name.
Yeah.
So does he want to be associated with that? And did he have a family? And this is the other side of it, which we don't. As much as he comes up every year,
it came with a vicious backlash.
Yeah, massive.
Because as
timing.
a community, we wasn't ready for it.
We weren't ready for it.
You
It's
get what I
timing.
mean?
But going back to my question, I was saying, would he have been able to spin that to a win today? I believe he would.
Yes.
I believe he
He
would.
would.
Times, but again, this is the same way we started it. Times have changed.
Times have changed.
So now, whereas that was such a taboo.
thing. Yeah.
Now it's just like,
taboo. How long ago was that? It was like 5 years.
No,
like
30
years.
25 years.
No,
Dominic
not
Soler
25
was on the
years.
stairs looking
No,
bonkers.
no,
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 25 is too far. Don't listen to Tongo. That's
it
way
was
too
probably the
far.
millennium, you know.
It wasn't too far
No, it
from
weren't
there.
the millennium.
It's
It
about
weren't the
15
millennium.
years ago.
Well, we'll find out.
No,
But
actually,
again,
Tongo might be right. You know,
was it that
25.
It might be 20 years ago.
it can't be 25? It's
yeah,
no
that's
way.
the millennium. So I'm actually.
It was probably
it's not
millennium.
far. It's not
Yeah.
far off of it because
Yeah.
it was early 2000s. It was before 2010.
Come on, you
I
have
know
to
that
remember
much.
the millennium bug and all those things.
Yeah,
It was around
yeah.
I'm trying to think if it was before or after I started 007.
Oh, it was way after
That's
that.
talking like he's really James Bond.
when I got my license to kill.
I was just going to say that.
No, watch
But
me.
look, we'll come back to that. Anyway, sorry.
Anointed by the Queen.
All
All right. So, okay. At what age is your child an adult?
Just to answer the question, 2006 to 2007.
Told you.
Okay, so when I started 007.
So at what age is your child an adult?
At what age is your child an adult? Or is a child an adult? No. Your child and then a child.
It's funny. My
Child's an adult at
son's
30.
birthday was in January and we went out to a restaurant. And my mum said, "Look at you, still my child," talking to me. And I'm a big man. So she still sees me as her child. My dad still sees me as his child. And I think with my children, I think I'll be a bit like that. Yeah, look,
Different terminology.
they're no, she see, I'm her. Okay, I've got a younger brother.
We say I'm a pudding. I'm her pudding.
I'm still her pudding.
Still raindrop. Little raindrop.
Little drizzle. The point is, I don't think I will ever look at my son as not being a child because I'm always gonna. There's always gonna be that age gap. No, it can't be incorrect.
I'm putting a line through that.
It can't be
Right,
incorrect.
go on.
What you say is what you say.
Right,
What
no,
I
I'm
say is
putting a
what I
line
say.
for
It
it.
can't
No,
be incorrect.
Put a line
Go
through
on,
it.
mate,
Right.
go on.
I think you mean you will not stop looking at him as your child.
That's what I mean. So my child, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Sorry, yes.
But you're still, even though when he's an adult, you're still going to look at him as your
My
child.
child, yeah. In the eyes of the world, yeah, he's a big man. But in my eyes, he's my child.
Okay.
So
So the question I ask is, when is your child an adult?
An adult.
So let me make it easier for you. You go to a restaurant. As his age is now, you pay the bill. At what point will you get to when you're like, okay, maybe
Your whole blood.
yeah,
No,
send for
because
your card, you know.
If my child, when they are financially stable, will pay. It's not a thing that I have to look at it. Like, I don't
So
know.
for you, the grade is financial stability.
It's not really a grade. It's not really a grade. That they just will. It's not that there isn't going to be an expectation. There won't be an expectation of me to pay or him to pay. I will know when he's able to pay, and if he wants to, he'll put that through as a gesture. It's just one of those things.
Buddy,
18.
18.
Wow.
Wiley.
Wait,
Sorry, go on.
you want to explain?
What does that come with? What
I'm
is it?
about to say because
Yeah.
18, you're viewed as an adult in this country in England. As my child, he'll still be a child. Like Rain said, he'll still be my child because you're still a child until you're now. I suppose I'd say you're a young adult. As that was the terminology I'd probably use on him. And especially when he reaches over the age of 21, I'll definitely saying you're definitely a young adult. And now you have to start taking on a certain other mantras. You have to start upping your game, and that's the only thing I would say to him at this age.
Wiley.
So wait. So again, your view of manhood or adultness is based financially.
I don't know what I said.
No, but
Anything
you're saying taking
financial.
care of your game. What does that mean?
I mean, looking out. You need to start doing things for yourself. You need to up in your game.
Explain
So
to us. What do you mean?
you have to start doing the next part of manhood. Come sons and boys, you need to start doing the next part of manhood. So
Explain.
becoming an adult, not necessarily financially, because you'll still probably be living underneath my roof. But
Okay.
I'm saying these are the parts where you need to go and look for a work. You need to turn and say to yourself, you know what, I need an income that's coming. I'm not going to be giving you pocket money. So you now need to start thinking, well, what's my way of earning some money to take my girlfriend out, and so on and so forth. And
So
that's
finance.
That's at 16. They can do that at 16 though.
They
But
can
it's
do it
still
at 16.
finance.
But we don't class them as an adult
I
then, would you?
didn't say I'd class him. This is why his term, what he's trying to use right now, doesn't make sense, because you're right. He can start at 16. So I never said that. I said that's when he starts growing as a man. He starts doing the other things. He now needs to start looking to his future. But that doesn't necessarily I'm not classing the two as the same. You're trying to make it the same, but I'm not said.
What I'm trying to
that.
get is clarification. So I'm not trying to push you in a corner. I'm just trying
You
to
are.
understand. No, I'm trying to understand what the next stage is. So we're talking about young men, next stages. For a young man listening, he wants to know what is it exactly you're expecting from me at that next stage.
Before we continue,
keep changing the
before we
question.
continue,
Thank you. I'm about
keep-
to say the
keep-
same thing.
I want to go back to it.
Yeah.
So Wiley, when is your child an adult?
An adult. So my stepson's 25. I view him as an adult now. However, I viewed him as an adult when he became a dad.
So prior to becoming a dad,
Yes. So here's the funny. So I didn't. Even at the age of like 21, 22, I still viewed him as he's growing, isn't it?
A young man.
But once he become a parent, I can't tell you how to raise your child, because that is your child. Now you're an adult, and I don't know if that is the marker
fair enough.
of what I would use. But I know in that circumstance, that's when for me the shift became, he's no longer a child, he's now an adult.
So you've got a very clear, definitive
That was the
line.
definitive. If that hadn't happened, if you hadn't had a child at that age, maybe I would have said around
How old
about
have you been as a child?
22, I believe.
Okay.
But the thing is, this is why I'm saying I don't know if it's about age, because it's easy to put a number on, but at a certain number, are they mentally at the age we would think they would be? And this is why I find it difficult to say a number. I can only go by what the experience was. For me, I know I had a bit of a shift to think, you know what? No, you're a man now. Like, you've got your own child now that you're having to be responsible for. I can't tell you A, B, or C because you're telling this little one A, B, and C.
Thank you,
That's
Wiley.
for me.
Tongo.
I don't know if I can say there's a specific age. I think it's when a number of things happen in their life. So they have their own responsibilities. That may be work, that may be paying their own bills, that may be moved out. So, for example, if my child goes to university, they stay on campus, they're an adult then to me.
Okay.
Yeah?
Mhm.
Because they are now doing adult things. They're
looking after themselves.
They're looking after themselves, yeah. So but a child could do that. As you know, there's children that have moved out at 14, some have done it at 16, some that have done it at 30. It depends. But if a 30-year-old was still in their parents' household, it's also about their independence in their life, even though it's still entwined with their parents. Does that make sense?
Right. Okay.
So I think it's about the responsibilities that you have that are quote unquote classed as adulting.
Right.
Yeah, I've got a very quick definition.
Wait. Let me give my
I
answer.
was about to say, Relly's waiting.
Oh, I thought you asked.
Do you know what? I didn't ask him. I purposely waited for him to go last.
Thank you. I take that as an honor. So I kind of sit between the two of you, actually. So first of all, for me, a young person is an adult legally, obviously by the age of 18. That's legal. Let's get that out of the way. However, in my eyes as a parent or as an older person, it's a little bit of what Tongo said, but a little bit on the reverse, in the sense of, you said when they have responsibilities. For me, it's more a case of when they pick up responsibilities. Because you can have responsibilities and not do them. You could have your own flat and be in your flat all day, not doing anything, just bumming around and whatnot. To me, that's not taking hold of responsibility. So when you take and you embrace responsibilities and you make it your own, then for me, that's when you're an adult, because you are doing things not just for yourself, but for the reason of responsibility. So it's my responsibility to make sure I turn up to work on time. It's my responsibility to make sure that I look after myself. If I've got a child, to look after this person. I've got parents. I live in their house. I'm not paying bills and I'm making money, but it's my responsibility as an adult to pay my way. So I will give my parents money, even if they don't give it to me. So it's a little bit like what you say in regards to responsibility, but it's more a case of responsibilities that person takes on board themselves without being told you have to do it.
Wiley.
Just very quickly, it was just a breakdown on what they say in terms of what I found in terms of I can't
Being
get
an
the word out, but basically what is definition
Definition
basically.
of an adult.
Yeah. So legally, 18 you're an adult on paper. Socially, early to mid 20s, which is when your independence actually starts. Emotionally, mid to late 20s. Regulation, accountability, and empathy. Financially, whenever they can sustain themselves. Practically, when parents stop rescuing and advice replaces control. The advice replacing control is a big thing for me because I think, if I think of it, with my stepson, there was a shift where it was no longer telling him what to do; it was advising. And I think I remember that also with more so with my mum than my dad, but definitely with my mum, there was a point where it shifted from she's telling me what to do to becoming she's just giving me advice. And I'll tell you what else it is as well. For me, it's when my mum was starting to ask me for advice. Now I'm viewing myself as an adult because you're asking me what my opinion is on something.
Thank you very much for that.
Yourself, Citrus.
Oh. So the crazy thing is mine is close to the definition. But
Now that this must have been said before your answer came out.
No.
How convenient.
I'll shift it along. Legally, 18, but I think if you're still living in my household, legally, when you're 21. That would be my legally. Because I do not think an 18-year-old could take certain adult responsibilities and make adult decisions and fully comprehend the outcome of said decisions.
The consequences.
The consequences.
Do you think you could have heard that when you was 18, when you had already moved out of your house?
I already moved out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Do you think you could have heard that at that time?
It didn't matter. Do you know what I mean? It didn't matter because the environment I was in emotionally at home, there wasn't space for that because my mum prepared me, similar as your mum prepared you, for lots of adulting, as Tongo's termed, when we were 12, 13 years old. Like we were given the, and I'll just talk from my own thing. My mum would get money from the post office money. I don't even know what it was called at the time. Gyro or whatever it was. So I'd get the money and then go and put that on the electric, go put that on the gas. Do you know what I mean? We used to get milk tokens. I don't know if you don't remember that. Yeah. With the milk tokens, you had to go to the shop, you had to get bread, you had to get milk, you had to get eggs, you had to get these other bits. You know, we had to get tuna, corned beef. Do you know what I mean? You might go pick up some chicken, might pick up some fish, go home, clean the chicken, clean the fish, season it, pull it in the fridge. Do you get what I mean? This go and do that before you can go and play out on your BMX. Do you get it? I'm 12, I'm 11, I'm 10. I'm like, why am I cleaning? Who remembers doing this? Burning the hairs on the chicken. Standing over like being pissed off. Burning the hair, the chicken legs were enough, the hairs were enough long, just burning them all off and making sure there was nothing on there. And then the chicken can go into the bowl. But I had to do that before I was allowed to go out and play. Now I've got the flame on high because I think it's gonna burn it quicker. Because I just want to get out and play. I can hear my friends playing in the flats. But I'm doing this. Now, at the time, hated my mum. And I've said this on the podcast before. I was like, why are you doing this? This is punishment. Why are you doing this to me? All my friends are playing. Why am I burning?
Going outside smelling a burnt chicken.
And now I'm smelling of it.
Your fingers are burnt as well.
Now,
just the hairs.
The PTSD of when I smell it, I'm like, huh? Mum? Do you get what I mean? However, as an adult, I'm realizing, wow, she was preparing me. She was preparing me at, sorry, Wiley. She was preparing me at all of these different points. When I was going to go and I had to stand up in the post office queue and it was long and windy and you had to stand in the thing and the snake line and whatever else. And then you go, hi, can you put £10 on this, please? Can you do £5 on that, please? And doing all of this. I didn't really understand what was going on at the time. However, as an adult, my thing was, all of these bills have to get paid first. This is what I'm paying. Do you know what I mean? So I was adulting at this age. So when it became a point where Tongo moved out, and Tongo was like, right, I've got to do my gas, my electric.
You already know how.
I was like, bro, how do you, like, doesn't everyone, now I'm there thinking, don't we all know how to do that? Do you get what I mean? So I think there are point and different pointers, but on reflection, 21 is the number. Sorry, Wiley.
So
really
one
quick.
thing to point out, and it's a gauge you can use for yourself. Just think of when you got keys to the front door. And that will give you a scale of,
At mum's house.
at mum's house, of your adulting responsibility or how they viewed you.
Secondary school. It was what
10 or
my mum
11.
did was she took me to my secondary school before when I was in primary. Do you know, to show you the route?
Yep.
So she took me to secondary
Once.
school once, and then she said, like, you get on this bus, you get off here, wait here, like at this, like. So I'd go and stand on the
On that
pavement.
bit,
stone.
yeah.
You had to wait for the bus. There's 2 buses, just get that one. Yeah, I'll wait for that one. Get on that bus, get off, walk that route. Doesn't matter, all the kids are going that way.
Yep.
I'm going this way because
Yep.
that's the route she told me, and then go back. Now when
What age were you when you got a key?
10.
Sorry, Tongo?
Sorry, one second. There's something very important. So what happened was when my mum said, do it on your own now, and I had to go and do the journey on my own, and she followed me. I mean, now, I don't know how, but she followed me, and when I got home, I reached the door, I knocked the door, no one's in. I was like, what's going on? She then turned up behind me and handed me the key. I said, that's your key, never lose it.
10 years old.
I was 10.
Tongo.
About the same age. I'm not sure the exact age.
Okay. Done.
We're about 8.
Rain. We won't talk about the child abuse thing over there. Let's just carry on.
It was secondary school because both my parents were
Not
working.
even lying.
So I had to get in
Mine
myself.
might be as young as that as well, when I think about it.
What age did you get your key?
About 10. About 10.
Now, to put that into to scale now,
Would you give your 10-year-old
would you
now
give
a
your
key?
10-year-old child a key? now?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
had
I
to have
would.
it.
Yes, I would.
He had to, my son was coming home from primary school by himself,
How far are you
age
from
9.
school?
We live on the same road.
About
I can see the school.
about 2 miles. So you could walk it or you have to get a bus. He was getting the bus.
At 10 years old, he was coming home by himself.
Yeah.
So he's not
At
lying.
9. At 9.
I'll give you a
9.
story. When I was 8 years old, my mum was sick. Yeah. And my primary school, I live in Hackney, I live in Clapton. My primary school was in Finsbury Park. Yeah. And when my mum was sick, I used to love school. So I wanted to go to school. My mum said, you can't go to school today because I can't take you. I was like, I can go there by myself, mum. I can go there by myself, mum. She goes, how? And I goes, right, you walk down there, you get on this bus, and I get off here, and then I walk up this. So I explained to her the route, be in the house. I explained the route. When she realised that I knew the route to school by myself, she let me go to school by myself. From that day forward, I went to primary school by myself for the rest of the time. So from 8 years old, I was going to school from Hackney to Finsbury Park on the 106 bus by myself. So I'm imagining, because the way she worked, that it's unlikely that she would have been home when I got home. So I must have had the key myself to get home. But she might have left it under the mat rather than giving it to me.
Here's a question I wanted to ask in
I
regards
do
to
remember
all
when I
this
did get my key, it was on a lace around my neck.
stuff. Around your neck, yes.
So you can never lose it.
So bringing it back to the whole thing about how we're growing, were we adults earlier, or were we just unsupported earlier?
No, times have changed, and that was
No,
why
I'm talking about us in that time. Was we adults,
Yes.
or just unsupported?
No,
we,
it wasn't.
we were supported, we were given independence.
Yeah, I can't use the word unsupported with my parents.
It sounds a bit harsh, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
What it is, it sounds like the scale is too vicious.
It was just different. I mean, times were different. So whereas you make us say, "Oh, that's child abuse at 8." If I sent an 8-year-old now in today's time out on the roads, and you will probably see to yourself, and the 8-year-olds that have grown up, and like what we were saying earlier on, they're a lot different, probably a little bit smaller. They're just built different.
Smaller.
Let's say just built different is what I'm trying to say. All right, it's like I get it. You know what I mean? I wouldn't probably send an 8-year-old out there with all the stuff that's going around with certain things that people are doing.
So you would support them?
I would probably say to myself, no, I didn't let my son, me and Rayman had this conversation, and I said I wouldn't let my son out for a while, and that's why I knew when he said at 10, he's not lying, or 9, he's not lying, because we had the conversation.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, you know what, I only let mine out at 11, or 10/11. I said, you know what, now you can catch the bus. So, and they're exactly the same age. So it's like I understand it. When I was 8, I was traveling, I had to catch a bus, then I had to catch a train, then I had to catch another bus to get to school. I was 9 years of age. I promise you that's what I did. And I have no problems in saying that because that was what the world was and it was fine. Do you know what I mean? That's how I learned and understood how to get myself from one area to another. I used to live in Leighton. I used to go to school in Tottenham. You work at the travel.
I was a bit like, you said, I was a bit like how your mum was with you. It was a bit like that. And then it was like, right, you get on this bus, this time. But then what happened is, I saw other people going the other way.
Yes.
So I'm like, I'm going to try this.
Shout goes out to Michael Solomon. He said, walk down this road.
We've all got it.
Your life changed.
We've all had it, yeah. And then you'd go with some gal. You might go this way because they go a different way. Or like, I used to go to school in Edmonton, and then you're probably familiar with Edmonton Green. Everyone used to go Edmonton Green. I've got no business going Edmonton Green. Edmonton Green is that way. I'm going Tottenham. But we found myself at Edmonton Green with the mandem for whatever reason. But I say this as an example because my son now, I've said done the same thing. You get on this bus, blah, blah, blah. Now, he said, hold on. Mikey, for example, he gets on the 106. I get on the 206. But he lives where I live.
So why can't I just get the same bus as Mikey?
He's doing all of that. And then one time, because obviously I'm one of them parents, so I've got the tracker now. But no, listen to this now. So I've got the tracker now. It gives you a notification when he gets off the bus. And when he gets back on it. So he gets off the bus. I'm like, why have you got off the bus? I'm not freaking out or nothing. I'm like, why have you got off the bus? Come home. I tell him, you got off the bus. He said, yeah, I went to the shop. The question is, where did you get the money from? Firstly, but he's got money.
That's always the lumber rate kicks in.
Always the question.
And then why? And he goes, well, you didn't say I couldn't. I got back on the bus and I'm here. And I can't argue with that. And as a parent, I have to think of raw.
You made him win the argument.
Yeah, you got
no, man.
One second.
You win a argument with your mum.
No.
Did you win the argument with Patsy?
No, he didn't win the argument.
Just listen to what he said.
He found his own sense of independence, and in that little instance, he became a little bit more streetwise. And what I want for my children is for them to be a bit streetwise. When shit happens on the road, you run that way, or if the road is blocked, you can get on another bus. So he taught himself that. So me,
you're not going to crush that.
I'm a proud father.
Yeah, you're not crushing
because he's learned something, and I haven't taught him. And that is where that generation, some of our generation, where we've had kids, when we're all roughly the same, okay, some of us have got different kids, different ages, but ones like you and I, they are going to be a different generation. They're either going to be a reflection of Gen Z and the other one, or they're going to be a reflection of Gen X. If they are a reflection of Gen X,
they'll be all right.
You've done a good job.
No, they're going to be crazy. They will take over the world.
Because they will have everything.
They will have the technology. They will have the fearlessness. You can't talk to them.
Drive.
They will have the knowledge. They will be crazy. So we potentially are raising a generation which will be the prime ministers, be I don't know, the people that
CEOs.
You know what I mean? All of that. They will be that.
Something you said, and I don't want to miss the part where you said you track your son.
Yeah.
And it's really weird because, like as I said, I just explained how far I was going. Leighton football ground to Tottenham football ground.
Yep.
Exactly where I was going. Yeah. And it's like there was no tracker. So when I left the yard, there wasn't even a phone. Remember, I didn't have a phone.
Same with me.
So it's like you jump on get there, get to school. She couldn't even check if I made it to school. She just know when the school hadn't called to send and say he hasn't been in school.
Didn't make it.
So
it's risky times.
It's risky times.
Yeah,
and that was what it was.
But it wasn't risky time. I don't know because yes, I don't know if anybody else has or does, but I do. It's going to come to a point where I'm going to stop paying attention to it. But there's this insecurity, and not insecurity, that's the wrong word. There is a thing which I call just my parental instinct that I feel that I have to. Do I have to? No. He's a sensible boy. But it gives me peace of mind.
So to respond to that,
but when
my daughter went to uni.
Sorry,
she went to uni. Now we had this thing, and a little bit unfair because I didn't make my son do it, but on my daughter's phone, we put in and we did this family share thing, and she went to uni. And I said to her, I never actually want to check it, but for my peace of mind and my heart, you're going to uni in Canterbury, leave it on for me. And she left it on all through uni. She even left it on when she came out of uni. I said to her, one time I checked it and it was off, just coincidentally. And I'm like, why is it off? And she started smiling. I said, okay.
She puts it in the other phone.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want, but promise you something. When you go on holiday with your friends, just turn it back on. And she's comfortable with it. She's like, why? I said, you're not in the country. If something happens, I need to know, and she's okay with it. So that, what you've said there about tracking, as much as a lot of people are like, oh, you track your kids. Yeah. If your kids you're open with your kids and you tell them they've got it, there's no reason for them to, it's it's a line of communication between us. There's nothing wrong with it.
Just to let it marinate, then just a little bit, because it's why we started the podcast. So could you be a parent in our parents' time, parenting the kids if you understand in their time? Because the way that they parented, obviously just sending them.
One second. You look. Sorry. What did you ask this question? Could you be tracked?
When I was a kid?
No.
Oh, no. By who? Where?
Could you be tracked?
Can I be tracked? Yes, it's possible, but I don't know.
Could you be tracked?
Yeah.
Could you be tracked?
We could all be tracked, I believe.
Could you allow yourself to be tracked?
I wouldn't allow myself to be tracked.
Would you allow yourself to be tracked?
Yeah.
Would you?
My answer is yes, yeah.
Would you?
I don't care for it, but yeah, go on. I don't care.
Yeah.
I say
So
willingly,
you're
willingly,
asking too
I
many-
wouldn't want to.
Because
Willingly,
you've not
no.
framed it the right way, because you're asking
No,
would I
it's
allow
a very
myself to
simple
be...
question.
Yeah.
Like, by
So
who?
he just shared that he tracks his daughter. So I'm saying, would you, as a big ass man, be tracked?
But I don't see the need to, because I'm a man. So I don't know, I'm me.
So that makes you immortal and...
No, but I'm saying that I don't see, if you're going to say to me, can I ask my wife to track, would I allow my wife to track me, or would I allow my mum to track me? I don't know what, you're not framing it the right way, so I don't know who you're
Okay,
asking to
very
track.
simple.
your wife says to you she wants to
Tongo.
track you.
Tongo, no,
Let's make it easy for him. Your wife wants to track you.
Sorry?
Your wife wants to track you.
My wife wants to track me. Again, it'll be a conversation, because it'd be like, for what reason?
So we ain't got a yes or no.
Yeah,
No.
Okay,
Okay,
Tongo.
fine.
I'd let
Tongo.
my wife track me.
Yeah.
Yes. Rain?
I'd let my wife track me. Well, I've got nothing to hide.
Yeah, that's it's weird.
Citrus.
No.
Your question.
Oh,
no, let him answer, let him answer, let him answer.
I was going to answer the question.
Yeah.
Answer the question and explain why you're asking
Yeah.
the question.
So,
Answer the question though.
yeah, no, I'd hate the idea to be tracked.
Yeah.
Not because
wouldn't willingly be tracked, no.
not because of no. If it was based on a trust basis.
Okay.
Do you get what I mean?
And you
so
got
this
enough-
is
yeah,
why
okay.
I had to then underpin the question.
Fair enough, yeah.
But I had to ask the question in the first place because I'm thinking about what Sirelli said, and he was like, "Yeah, of course I tracked it." And then one time I checked it, and then she weren't. So I had to ask the question why. So then you are actively tracking, even though you're inactively tracking. Do you get what I mean? And I'm thinking, if that was me, and I said I'm at the podcast, but the podcast is now taking place in Sirelli's yard because the studio weren't open. Now it's like, I thought you was at the podcast. Why are you at Sirelli's yard?
So, but there's a
And
difference
then
there
all of a
because
sudden,
No.
I'm like,
Take the picture.
I'm like, why am I being trapped? Do you get what I mean?
Alright,
Just
okay.
the notion of it, I'm just getting this whole Big Brother sense. It's kind of snowing.
But are you-
I was gonna say rain, but yeah,
Are you
snowing over
offended-
me. I'm like, yeah, I'm not. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
So are you offended that you're being tracked or are you offended that you're being questioned?
Both.
It's both.
It's definitely both.
No, you see,
both.
for me, it bugs me more that I'm being questioned.
I saw. So Apple have the
AirTag.
No, they have on your phone. You can join a
group?
a family group.
Family thing.
Yeah, and I know it's not just Apple.
Okay, I don't know about Samsung. We don't buy that.
Google is actually that does it.
So,
Yeah.
but and on it, you can go on there and look and see where
All your family members.
everyone is.
Yeah.
Now, my daughter and her uni friends joined one. Now they've left uni. They still have the thing connected.
Oh, wicked.
One of their brethren went on holiday. Never told the rest of them in the group chat.
Pass on.
What are you doing in Morocco?
Malaysia, yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
At AFCON.
At AFCON. What are you doing at AFCON? I thought you were Nigerian. Why are you still there? Do you know what I mean? So, Ali. But do you get, now, for me, I'm just like, can I get my, like, listen to Sirelli say it just now. I was like, okay, if that was me, could I handle that? Just the notion of being trapped. Yeah. Do you get what I mean? I'm like, it's something I'm wrestling with. Anyway.
Before we go, make sure you are locked in. You are following the eMpTy Podcast on Instagram at the eMpTy Podcast, the eMpTy Podcast on TikTok. Don't forget, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, what
Right
are you
now.
actually doing?
Right.
With your life.
Yeah, for real. What are you actually doing? If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel and the Spotify channel, the eMpTy Podcast, what are you actually doing? I don't
The
understand.
Spotify one is actually quite good. I used it in the gym.
This is what I'm saying. I don't understand.
Press the hype button as well
Yeah,
on
for
YouTube.
real. Make sure you are subscribing, and you know we run various competitions. We've got loads of guests coming on throughout the course of this year. Loads of interesting topics, loads of stuff. Make sure you are following the eMpTy Podcast.
You've got a 15-second roundup each, starting with Sirelli, working our way around to Buddy.
Respect for your kids. isn't based on age. So us talking about, when they become adults and whatnot, I don't think it's something based on the age of the child. I think respect is given as an adult when they are doing things that tick off the boxes in your mind that they are now doing adult things. They are behaving in that manner.
For me, why 40 plus looks younger now? I think we look younger now, and we're younger now because we're young in mind, and that young in mind is transmitting to everything else. I think we have, we've got the benefit of the responsibilities of our generations when we're growing up, to having now the technology and the facilities to be able to look after ourselves and our health and be able to adapt with all the technology available. That's my answer to that.
Gen X is the best. Next.
Yes.
That's yours. Tongo.
I think we're younger looking now because I think we have more health-minded mentality, and I also think we have more things available that aid our health. There's better medication. I think there's developed programs, diets, etc. And I think what Wiley said about the young at mind, I think we're also young at heart. Because as I was saying earlier, or was said earlier, you couldn't envision certain people our age dressing the way we dress, or even in a casual manner, full stop. You'd be very, even on sports day, they got tracksuit and shoes on. Do you know what I mean? And I think we also have a more awareness of self. I think when our parents and stuff was always more, although we are focused on family and they're focused on family alone, we're always focused on ourselves and family, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
I think that, yeah.
All right, buddy.
I'll keep it short and sweet. Just, you know what, be careful what you put out there on the internet, because nowadays it's all, you don't know if it's going to age well. And you don't know if at the end of the day, it's going to be something that's looked down upon from your kids or anything like that. So I always say to myself, look out for what you're going to put out there. And yeah, it's been a good podcast, lads.
On the back of that, you can't always guarantee what's going to be put out on yourself, though.
Real.
And my final point is, these type of conversations we need to keep having as a community, as a people, because the more we talk, the more we learn. And never forget, if the glass isn't half full,
It's empty.
empty.